on the right-hand side, you see the Tempest clock.
We're gonna wait till
So maybe some of the viewers might remember this clock from last year, but the app has been slightly updated, so now it's even better. And it comes with this beautiful device that you insert the iPhone, and then it uses the gyroscope on the iPhone to indicate which.
I've used that clock. I love it.
Oh, yeah,
I love it. It's
So
a great clock.
I just wanted to mention it, so the viewers
Good,
know it.
good,
And
thank you.
look at how beautifully matching it is with the
Yes.
Monte Carlo board.
I wonder where you can buy a clock like that. I don't think they're available anywhere, are they? Where would you get one?
Well, thanks for asking, Phil, because you know what? You can get it at Backgammon Galaxy's web
Wow,
shop.
what a surprise. Backgammon Galaxy. Is there anything else for sale there? That's it. You just sell clocks, right? The clock holder?
Well, we sell this clock holder, yes.
How about the board? And how about
The board as
baffle
well.
boxes? And
I think there's a promotional code out right now. So if you buy the Monte Carlo board during the World Championship, you get a 10 or 15% discount.
oh, that's great.
So you
I mentioned that the boards are incredible here at this tournament.
Yeah.
All right, let me get into this match. I haven't set the stage at all yet, but thanks for coming by. Anytime. So in this match, we have two great players, Chris Trencher from New York and Chris Rogers he's just outside of Bristol. They're both very, very well-known top-level players. I have no idea who I would pick in this match. They're both have reputations, and of course, I know Chris Trencher well. He is one of the my co-teachers at the Backgammon Learning Center. He's a great teacher as well as player. He is a investment trader and plays a lot of backgammon. Chris Rogers in the red, who's playing the white checkers, is a professional backgammon player. That's what he does for a living. He went to the London School of Economics. He's been on some kind of a game show 14 times that he's won. That's all about math, and he's one of these math genius type guys, which many, many top backgammon players are. And they're both really nice guys. I've known both Chris's for a long time, and I have a prediction. I think Chris is going to win this match. Now, I'm going to name, from now on, I'm going to try and say Rogers and Trencher because they're both named Chris. Their styles are they're very much in tune with extreme gammon, and they both play at very, very low PRs, so I won't have too much to say about their plays other than, wow, that was great. Wow, I wouldn't have done that. Wow, that's amazing. So I'm going to really try and just keep you up to date on what's going on in the tournament, what's happening in the match, where we're at. Again, it's the round of 16. The next round is the money round. And the money in this match, in this tournament, is considerable. As I recall, it's $77,000 for the winner, plus $14,000 in the side pool. But it's not about the money. Everybody who has ever won a world championship, when I've seen them interviewed, and I've interviewed a lot of them myself, they ask them what the highlight of your life has been in backgammon. It's that they won the world championship. That's number one. Then they talk about anything else. This is it, baby. This is the tournament that everybody cares about. If you haven't been to Monte Carlo, come. It's just, I've been here many times, several times anyway, and this is my first time as not a player, and it's just as much fun. In fact, it's no tension for me. I've never lost money doing commentary until yesterday when Joe Russell bet me on a couple things and takes my money. But it's really, really a ball to be here. Okay, we have a double two. Let's get into this match. We have a clear lead by Trencher, both in position and not in pip count. That's equalizes this game. He's down in the pips, but his position is certainly superior. He's got a great priming game, and Rogers has a great racing game. Now, we do have the XG feed, so we can see what plays are right. I don't have to guess anymore, and I don't have to put my foot in my mouth too much, but you're going to see my foot in my mouth often. That's part of my style. I like to go out on a limb, and I have no problem being wrong. I am a professional backgammon teacher, and I'm willing to admit that if I was a better player, I would probably not waste my time teaching. I could just play for money and go all over the world like Chris Rogers and other people do. Chris plays in a chouette in London a lot, in England a lot, with John and his group, and I've played in that chouette when I go to London. All right, this has got to be clearly to make the 4 point. It doesn't leave a shot. That's why you don't make the 5 point. There isn't a pick and pass pointing number. I think this play it is right by a lot. They're both deliberate players. Now, I know a lot more about what Chris has been doing because I spend about a third to a half my time in New York. I live in Florida, but I'm in New York often. I play in a chouette with Chris. We teach together. We've lectured together. So in this last year or so, he has been so hot. He and Victor Ashkenazi seem to meet each other in jackpots and finals all the time, and he's been winning a lot and playing great. His recorded PRs are super. I don't know exactly what they are, but they're certainly at the master and grandmaster levels. Okay, let's get into this match a little more. This is all about containment for Trencher and all about how can he get out of here and race for Rogers. I will try to watch the chat once in a while. If you have any comments or questions, I'll do my best. The reason I don't have a co-commentator right now is I'm just a selfish, mean guy, and I want to do it all myself. But there's another reason. Everybody really good is playing right now. They're in the second chance, they're in consolation, or they're still in the main. Pardon me. Except for Justin Knoll, who's doing commentary on screen 2. By the way, on screen 2, oh, hey, I found a great commentator. Michelle Lamotte, come join me. My good buddy and great commentator. I need help. Thank you. Michelle Lamotte from Belgium is going to join me. If you go on stream 2 is Kengo Nakasuka from Japan, a young man from Japan, is playing Morton Holm. You got the old giant and the new kid on the block. That's an exciting match. Bill Rouse and Justin Knoll are doing that one. And I have got the pleasure, I was saying, all the good players were busy playing, but there's one that was missing, and it's Michelle.
Yeah.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Phil.
Welcome.
Great to
Well,
be on the front row.
Yes. This is the best seat in town.
Best seat in the house.
Do you know both players?
Yes.
You know them well?
I don't have any anecdotes about them, but
Okay, I have too many anecdotes about Trencher, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I like them. I like the guy a lot, or else he wouldn't be on my team in the Backgammon Learning Center. And we're just good friends. And that doesn't mean I'm rooting for him, but because Chris Rogers is a known, wonderful guy in backgammon, so I'm very happy for both of them to be here.
these are interesting positions.
It's a little louder and in the mic.
Ah, yes.
Go ahead.
So it should be on, yeah. So these are interesting positions. You are down in the race as black, and the problem is always when do you double this?
I don't think you ever double when you're down in the race or the race is close, unless your opponent's board is crashed and you're very likely to get a shot.
That's it.
Is that right?
I guess that would be my.
I think the cube is not that complicated here right now. Neither player can double. But now it's starting to get likely that Trencher will get a shot. And he could be forced out with a 4-6, but not with a 3-6. That's actually lucky that he didn't have to run right there. The race is really, really tricky.
I think Walter Trice calls this squeeze cube. So
Squeeze cubes.
the moment white goes away from the anchor, like a watermelon seed, that's the moment to cube.
Boy, do I miss Walter Trice. What a great guy.
Yeah.
When Walter passed away, I started a fund for Walter Trice's nieces and nephews and family. We raised $45,000 immediately from the backgammon community to send his relatives, his niece and nephew to college. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go.
Wow, suddenly it's a race.
Double six. It's a race, and it's a good race now for Trencher. It looks like the pip count isn't that good, but look at the wastage, which all those extra checkers on the ace point that Rogers has. That makes the race much better for Trencher than it looks. Mm-hmm. It says he's up 3 pips, but if you use Trice's formula and you add 2 pips for every checker on the ace point, for everyone more than one, that's 2, 4, 6, 8 plus a extra checker on the 2. There's 9 pips of wastage on White's side, and there's only 4 pips of wastage on Trencher's side. So it's not as bad a race for Trencher as the pip count looks. When I give lessons on races, I say there are 8 factors that determine who wins a race. Most people just think about pip count, but what about distribution? Who's on roll? Where's the cube? How long a race it is? Luck?
So with all that
Skill.
wastage, you will have to use the Keith count.
I use the Keith count, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I use eyesight too, and I learned from John O'Hagan that I can do a little bit of EPC. When you get down to here, you do EPC. Then you add Matusak, Klein, and Thorpe. That's what O'Hagan does. And anybody who does that over the board is going to run out of time on their clock, except for O'Hagan. All right, we got a very close race here, a very close contest.
Yep.
Somebody asked in the chat, can we do anything about the background noise? They have special mics here that are supposed to filter that, and that's why I'm sitting so close to the mic, because it's not supposed to pick up as much background noise as a normal microphone, but it still gets there. Somebody also asked, is Sander Liloff there? Here, yes, but he's been knocked out. He went. I just saw him in the hallway right before the match. He was going out for a nice long lunch. After he lost his first match, he was going to just default out of the tournament. He didn't even want to play in the second chance. And then somebody said, wait a minute, your next match, if you win this match, will be Mochi. Both he and Mochi got beat. They would have met each other again, so he stayed in the tournament, and they both lost. We had some big upsets in this tournament. Most of the world champions were not, previous world champions were knocked out in the first round, but they're still alive. I think Frank Frigo is the only world champion left in the undefeated bracket out of 12 that started this tournament. And I was almost willing to bet with some odds that we'd have a repeat. Now we still could, and there's several in the fighters bracket.
Yes, but Frank Frigo has a tough opponent now. Geert van der Stricht, Little Karpov, he's called. Little Karpov from Galaxy.
Really?
From Belgium.
Uh-huh.
International chess master, and a very tough one, very tough opponent.
When you say very tough, is he better than you?
Yes.
He is?
Yes.
I thought you were the best player in Belgium.
No, I'm not.
That makes you number 2 then, huh? Or close.
Have you never heard of Mark van Dam?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
He has like 3,000 on Galaxy. He's our best player by far.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
why does such a small country have so many good players?
Well,
you should move.
We have not a
You
single
should move. You would be the best player in about 150 countries around the world.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong place. I can't find a country where Uganda. I might be the best player in Uganda if I move there. I've heard that the best player in Uganda is not that good. And China doesn't have any really good backgammon play. They're all playing Go. All right, what's happening here?
Yeah, very exciting. It doesn't happen very often. Oh, the cube is already there.
Yeah, Trencher has the cube.
Whoa.
This is not a good roll.
Wow.
Trencher's off in 3 rolls, assuming a miss, and there's 3 rolls on the other side. I think so. Why is he looking? Think about it.
Yes.
Okay, he's thinking while he's shaking.
Oh.
I predict 3 rolls a pass, and it is a big double and a big pass.
It's better
It
than a
scared
three.
me. It scared me when he just shook like that. But that doesn't mean he was going to roll.
He's actually 2% better than a 3-roll.
You can still double after you shake, as long as you don't try and attempt to roll. Very nice double.
Yes.
Very big pass.
Yes.
See, even if he misses, he's off in 3 probably. I mean, it would be a wild thing for him to take more than 3 rolls to get off, and the only way that Rogers doesn't get off in 3 is if he rolls doubles. So that's why this is a big pass. By the way, a 3-roll, pure 3-roll with all the checkers on the ace point is 21%. And this is not pure, but this could be a 2-roll for Trencher. Trencher could easily roll a 6-something. Oh, no!
Wow, that's a
Horrible take. Oh no, that's not something you would expect from a math genius like Rogers. I might see mistakes from him. That I would never predicted that kind of mistake. And that was a .24 blunder. That was a shock.
That's sloppy.
Now he must roll doubles. He's got 1 out of 6 rolls that can win. Justice would say he doesn't roll it, but there's no justice in backgammon. It's all luck here. All right, there is justice. I don't want to see the guy win after he makes a big mistake. I want to see people win by playing well. I'm not rooting for either one of them. I'm rooting for the better player to win, which is not always the case, as we know. We saw Sander Liloff get knocked out in the first round by someone who played PR 8 times worse than he'd played. But that happens in backgammon.
Yes.
All right. Why would he take that cube?
Strange.
By the way, it's such a simple calculation on that cube.
Yes.
And here's a math. I just introduced him as one of these math geniuses. Wow.
Embarrassing.
Oh, that's surprising.
You want to take a little break and lie down a bit to recover?
Someone said no double after shaking if I was in charge. Well, that's not the rule. If that was the rule, then I'm sure he wouldn't shake. So you can't penalize the guy for following the rules. But there are places where if you attempt the roll, you can't double after that. Let's say you roll a cocked dice, then you can't double. But I've never seen a rule. I don't recall any rule where if you shake, you can't double. I've never seen that rule anywhere. Lots of people shaking helps them think. Look what happened to Chris's PR. He was under 1, and now he's at 13.
Quarterfinals at after dinner break at 2200. So everybody knows what's going on.
Quarterfinals at 2200 after dinner. And that's the money round.
So Chris with a comfortable 4-0
Don't say
lead.
Chris. Say Rogers or Trencher.
True. Yes.
I had to catch myself on that too.
Yeah.
I have a bet that Chris is going to win this match. You want to bet against me? I'll give you 10-1 odds. Wow, that was just a shock.
Like elementary.
I would give you 100-1 odds that he would have passed that cube because it was so obvious a pass. And not because I saw XG, I just fundamental.
Yes. And so easy to calculate the EPC, you know, a 3-roll.
I'll tell you how much I know this. If you have a 3-roll with 3 checkers on the ace and 3 checkers on the deuce, that's 19.2%. I mean, we've memorized these positions. We know exactly what they are. Any good player, and I guarantee you, Chris is not going to be, he's going to have nightmares about that cube unless he wins the match.
This is also a mistake.
He just gave his opponent a big spot.
Stepping up into that, those 11 black checkers.
Plus, you're outboarded. You got 1 inner-board point. Your opponent has 2. You don't want to invite a hitting game right now.
Exactly.
This is not a great play.
So this is 4-1. Ah, no, he's contemplating a cube.
Well, you must hit. Where's the 2? I guess you play 11-9.
Or
8-5?
8-6 is also nice.
Yeah. 8-6 is much safer.
It's better.
11-9 gives him a 3-6 that he didn't have before, and a chance to hit twice with double 4.
No, but a spare on the 6 is always nice, they say.
And 11-9 was my play, by the way. I like this play, even though it's a little bit worse, but it's close. Got a lot more covers. Now I think you might have a cube. There's no good 6. He's going to have to slot or go behind. Now I would strongly think about the cube. The 1 isn't even duplicated.
And duplicate 3s.
Yeah.
And unstack the heavy midpoint in the process. Okay, so a bit inaccurate play by Chris Rogers. And
well, he hasn't picked up his dice. He hasn't hit the clock. Oh, he did hit the clock. Yes, he did. He made this play.
Yeah.
It's a double and a take, but not a big double. 0.036, 0.024, 0.24 is not a big double at all. And winning 4-0, I might start getting a little more conservative. So I absolutely wouldn't. Oh, there. Good double by Trencher. Very nice double. I like this double, even though it's a small double. Easy take. Easy take. Lots of game left. 6-2 covers and makes both points.
Yes.
I think you make both points. Why not make the 9?
Well, maybe because White is committed to covering his blot on the 5 points, so maybe you can leave the indirects. Oh, that's very.
It's not very bad, but it's certainly it was the 3rd or 4th best play.
Now you give him 5-1, 5-3.
Yeah, that was a very big move. It wasn't terrible. It was 0.04 mistake because I looked at it also, but I ruled it out immediately.
Promising position for Trencher.
Not when you roll a 5-3. Oh, 3 hits, 5 hits. I hit both.
Double hitting or continuing?
Oh, you hit both. No, hitting both is wrong by 0.015. I hope he pluses that. Anytime I'm wrong, I hope he pluses it. Then I have a chance. I learned that from the Masters. Neil Kazaros is my favorite. Show him a position, I put it in plus, it's wrong. He says, roll it out, it'll be right. And almost every time I roll it out, he's right. Of course, he's Neil Kazaros.
Okay, Trencher goes for the aggressive.
I like the
hits.
play.
Yep.
I like the play a lot. 17 sixes cover plus 9s. 5-4. There's the 6. Oh, you make the bar or cover. I think you have to cover. I believe, especially with a checker on the bar. Sure. And the 4.
Uh-huh.
I like this.
Yep.
And it's right.
Mhm.
It's right. You're playing a blitzing game, and now you're playing
Okay.
a priming game. You just switch. You were playing a blitzing game until the anchors. Now you're playing a priming or racing game. This is a good roll for Trencher.
Yeah.
Getting out of there, clearing the blot.
So now Rogers is in a low anchor game. He's got a bit of equity.
You always have equity
Mm-hmm.
in a low anchor game.
Yep.
It's called In the Game to the End by Bob Wachtel, parts 1 and 2.
Yes.
I've learned a lot from Bob in both of his books.
Sophisticated book.
Sophisticated guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2 down. What else?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that valuable to make the point to leave a direct, so 2 down looks like pretty natural to me, and it is. He needs an 8. 6-2 is the only hitter.
So not only does Rogers have the ace point game, he also has a bit of contact against. Oh, there it is. I was going to say against the 14 points.
Yeah.
But that's solved.
Well, having the open 3-point makes his ace point game look a little better too.
Yeah, especially
more-
with the lack of spares.
Yeah, there's more opportunity to get a shot as well as perfectly close board against an ace point game. The ace point gets gammoned about 15%.
Okay.
Double 4s is not helpful.
No.
It doesn't hurt, but it's not helpful. It's going to leave a shot on the outside. You're not going to come off the 6-point and switch here. So what else are you going to do besides leave an outside shot? Do you come off the 6-point? I can't see any logic to that.
I looked at it, but I had to look at XG to see.
You won't
Whether
find
it
it.
was
You won't
any
find
merit.
it on the XG list. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's a 0.27 error. So this is it. This is the play.
With the double 3, he probably should have shifted from the 6 to the 3.
Maybe. This is just 2 unfortunate rolls in a row for Trencher.
Yep.
But I'm not going to feel real sorry for him. He's not real sad to be in this position. He's at 78% favorite to win after giving the cube. Nothing wrong with that.
But 22% winning chances for the low anchor game is more than average.
Well, yeah, that's because of this stiff position and the open 3-point.
Yep.
There's some bad rolls coming up for Trencher. What's his worst roll? I know people that can count that right away. Double 5s. Double 5s leaves a blot. What else? 5, 6?
5, 6.
6,
Oh,
5.
no,
No,
that's fine.
that doesn't. What else besides double 5s? It's 5, 4. Yeah, 5, 4.
No, 5,
a lot
4
of 5s
takes the
are
checker
bad.
off.
5, 6 plays.
Yep.
We covered that. But he had some anti-jokers there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you call a bad roll, an anti-joker, a really bad roll. That's what you call my average roll, an anti-joker.
Okay. Where does the 2 go? I think we can take one off because your deuces play
Matt-
good from the 4-point.
Matt Cohn-Geyer just rubbed it into me. We got out of college, came to Chicago, played in our shoehead. He says the biggest mistake I see is not taking checkers off
Yeah,
and a bear off.
6%.
And this is a good example. Unless you could find a good reason not to, take it off. Why? Because if you do leave a shot later and get hit, you'll have more checkers off and you might still win.
That's
And
the
if you
thought.
don't leave a shot, you're going to have more checkers off and you'll win more gammons.
12 big
4 is
balls.
big. A 4 is big. Oh,
it
he got it. He
is.
got the
Wow.
4. And by the way, if Trencher had taken the checker off and had one more checker off now, he'd be in much better shape. He's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. He's got 6 off. Having 7 off is a lot. It's about another 10% wins.
This was a big recube already. Because Black's checkers are not perfectly on the ace and
Yes.
deuce. His aces don't take checkers off.
Yeah, normally we're thinking 6 checkers off, you don't have a recube, but this is not like 6 checkers off with those 2 blanks, with the 1 and 3. This is almost like having 4 checkers off. So what's happening is Rogers is missing recubes here, and he's going to get dinged on the PR over and over and over again, which he's making one mental error 8 times in a row. It's going to make his PR look much worse than he is. But I don't feel sorry for him because it happens to me too. It happens to all of us when we think we're too good to double or not good enough and we keep rolling. It's still only one mental error, but XG doesn't see it that way. It dings you each time. But he'll be doubling soon.
But I think for money it would probably be a pass. So being down 4-0 and a recube, I'm sure that Frencher's take point is a bit higher than for money.
Well, here's what bothers me. He didn't stop and really think about it. There's no reason. He's got plenty of time on the clock. We're talking about a 4-cube, a recube. There's no excuse for not taking some time. There's lots of time. With that clock, there's still plenty of time in the match. 4-2. Maybe after he takes 1 or 2 checkers off, you'll see him double. So he really doesn't lose a whole lot of equity by not doubling because anytime he wants to double, he's going to pass. Now he's thinking about it. Okay.
Well, maybe he knew that it was a pass immediately, and there was no harm in.
Not me. If you know it's a pass, you want your opponent to take. So that means I would double sooner. I want to make it easier for him to take. It's just the opposite.
Okay.
I think. If you're playing poker, you play poker the other way. But I don't. Why would you play poker with somebody like Trencher?
Trencher has a resigned, wry smile.
He quickly passes. Very good. Absolutely right.
That's a bummer for Trencher.
Just bad luck. But is it bad luck? It's odds. I don't believe in luck. I walk under ladders. I don't believe in luck. I believe in odds. The odds are sometimes you'll leave a shot and get hit. That's part of the game. And the better players play. The odds are just as bad and good for them, but they win more because they prevent the bad things from happening as much by playing better. It's not going to happen as much. Mochi won't get hit and lose as much as I will because he won't leave shots as often.
Okay, this is standard opening play.
Yep. It's about the only roll where you go to the ace point on the second move. That and 6-5. If you can double hit.
Okay, here you can make the 3 or cover the ace and split.
I would make the 3, but I'm wrong. By a lot. By a lot.
Yeah, there's a golden rule which says that once you have slotted the ace point, you should cover it on the next
Yeah,
roll.
and see, I'm playing like we did 30 years ago. I haven't learned this yet. 30 years ago, if you made the right play, they would laugh you out of the club. But XG's telling us when you do exactly what you said. And I can't believe that you got this right. You look like an old guy too. You've been playing for a couple of years, haven't you?
Yeah, but I've been practicing with XG, and that's what XG does, so I do it too.
I should have caught that. Over the board, I promise you over the board, I would have gotten it right. I was doing a gut reaction thing, but I remember that rule very well.
You can be right all the time.
I can be right all the time if I watch XG.
Mm-hmm.
If I open my eyes before I open my mouth.
Yeah.
This is a good play. So what happens when you make the ace point? You got to play a hitting game. You can't play a priming game. So Rogers has committed himself to play a hitting game or racing, but forget about priming. Now look at Trencher. He's got a priming game. This is Blitz versus Prime, which is chapter 1 in Mochi's new book, which you can buy on Galaxy, by the way. I say Mochi's new book, and Mochi and Olson's new book, which I highly recommend. I read it, love it.
I just bought it.
You just bought
5
it.
minutes ago.
I bought it the day it came out.
But you have privileged access.
I did. This play is clear only because there's nothing else.
Chris looking for, Rogers looking for a pointing roll. There it is.
And he got one.
Yep.
He would rather have the 5 point, but any point in a storm, he wants to hit. He wants to play a hitting game. He wants a 5. Well, he's in and a lousy 4. I guess you have to come out, don't you? Well, maybe you go to the 4 point.
4, yeah.
I think you got to come out. You don't want to get hit inside.
Mm-hmm.
And this is right. The reason is you don't, if he hits you outside, he isn't making his 5 point. And wow. Make the 2 point, hit twice, make the 9 point. Lots of options. Did I say he's playing a hitting game, though? If you're playing a hitting game, I hit twice.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do.
Well, again, you made the ace point, you have to hit twice. And XG agrees by quite a bit.
Gee.
Making the 9 points not bad. But I would whack. Or as X22 would say, quack. Shades of Paul McGrill. How do you come to Monte Carlo, play in major tournaments, and not think about Paul McGrill and Falafel and Walter Trice and Malcolm Davis and all these greats that we've lost? I'm sure I'm missing a few. Those are the ones that I personally knew and loved that I miss so much.
Well played by Chris Rogers.
Dice on checkers, no good. Great play by Chris Rogers. Comes in
Now
and
he's looking for
cube.
pick and pass.
It's well.
He hasn't.
It's
cubed
what
yet.
about the cube? Is it too good or is it?
No.
It's got to be a pass, isn't it? Especially when you're down. It's a small pass. A big cube though. I'm surprised it's a small pass. I thought it was a big pass.
He's
got some game.
Yeah, Rogers is putting Trencher in a spot of trouble here.
Yeah, this is a. Oh, it is a bigger pass now that they put it on plus a higher. You took it to a higher court.
Well,
Again, if you have XG, I always do plus. Yeah, I was passing this quickly. That's why I have a gut reaction when I use Woolsey's law. I ask myself if my opponent's taking. If the answer is he's passing, then the first thing I do before I just reach for the cube is ask, can I be too good? That should be a reflex action every time you're thinking about doubling.
Yes. If there's even a whiff of being too good, then
Yeah.
it's certainly a pass.
Yeah,
It's a good way of.
it's just automatic. It's just that's on my list. Woolsey's law. If he's passing, am I too good? Then I decide whether to double or not. Then I double, and the guy takes and gammons me. So get used to it. That's backgammon. So there's another way to look at this. Pratt is a big part of what Olson covers in his part of the book, of the new book, about revising Pratt and looking at positions like this. And here threats are huge. You look at position race and threats, but the threat is huge. If Rogers rolls well here, there's a lot of gammons. If he hits and covers or just covers and anything that where Trencher doesn't anchor is going to be really, really big in the gammon department, which is another reason why you pass, especially when you're ahead in the match. Now, this doesn't seem to be that far ahead, 4-2 in a match of 17, but when the cube action comes at these scores, I've been finding out in the last few days it really matters. And I was surprised it matters as much as it does.
Good pass by Trencher.
Trencher is playing like a super pro. What's his PR? He's just amazing this match. I can't see the same for Rogers, especially because of that really horrible take. But I can't wait to see. Trencher is just really impressing me. His major decisions and most of his checker decisions have been brilliant. Been right on.
Yeah, Rogers' PR is of course a bit skewed by the fact that he made consecutive cube errors when Trencher had 6 checkers off.
And we can see Trencher's playing at 3 and Rogers playing at 7. And you're right, that 7, because of that one repeating mistake, was probably more like 5.5.
Yeah.
which is still not good for Rogers. Rogers, both of these players would be happy if they played under 3, and they'll be happy with 3, by the way. Anything under 3.5 is world class, and really, I forget, is that world class or super world? There's different categories of titles for that. I'm not sure what it is. It's damn good. That's what I'll say it is. It's damn good. A note, I'm surprised the score makes a difference here. Me too. But at the score of 4-2 in a match to 17, we had a cube the other day that was a double in pass for money and not even a double in the match. I couldn't believe how much it changed, and we rolled it out. Just huge differences, even at that score. It's just amazing. Amazed me. I would always say you play this just like money, but it's not true. And it depends on the type of cube and the amount of gammons involved. That's a big factor. And there were gammons involved in that last cube.
We have an awkward position here.
I like that play.
Okay, that's great. You make the 4 points.
You don't make the 4 point unless you see it. Otherwise, it's a no-brainer. Some people miss that. They don't see it. You saw it in like 1 second. Took me 2 seconds. Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you make the 8 or do you anchor? Yeah. I like this.
In front of
I like this.
Yep.
Your opponent's got, when he has that 4 point, he's playing a priming game, and the way you make a priming game impotent is by making a higher anchor. Do you hit or make the point? Looks like a coin flip according to XG. I'm making the 7 point because of the stack and because I've got a priming game. Although, yeah, Trencher's got a hitting game, so you're equal in a hitting game, but you have an advantage in a priming game. That argues for making the 7 point. And after I use that logic and look at XG, I'm surprised it's that close.
Mm-hmm. This close.
Logically, it seems so much better to play a priming game. You're going to hear this from me a lot. Thinking about game plan, not just about checker movement. Which type of game should you be playing? I drum that into my students and try to live by it myself.
So we might see an interesting game here with the double anchor for back. Now you make the 5 without a doubt, I would say.
Mm-hmm. So Trencher's in what we call a back game, but you shouldn't commit yourself to a back game if you can get out of it, and it's still early enough to maybe get out of it. Back games are fun. They win a lot, but they also get gammoned a lot. So he has an opportunity here.
To play a back game, you need some purity in your front position, and this made deuce point looks more like a liability to me in the back game.
He made the right play. He's committed to the back game because going forward wasn't a great option here. I love that. That was a really tough play. I don't know many people who would make that play, and it was right. That was a beautiful play.
Yep. This is it a proto back game? As Walter tries to use to
Well,
say?
I call it an untimed back game, which is always a pass. By the way, it says too good. Ignore that. .010. No. It's a coin flip,
It's a
whether
great
it's too
cube.
good.
It's a great cube.
Oh, it's a perfect cube.
Because your opponent might erroneously take.
Oh, I know one guy who
But
takes
not
this cube.
Chris.
Jim Pasco takes this cube, and he wins it a lot. I take this cube because I'm an idiot. But the right play, of course, is to pass by a lot.
Yeah.
An untimed back game is something you don't want to play. Just give it up. Give him a point.
Great.
And he did.
Yep.
Trencher is just nailing this match.
Mm-hmm.
Every single decision, just about, he's nailing it.
Yes.
He's on fire mentally. Wow.
Yeah, 4-4.
Sent you a WhatsApp message with 2 pictures. They're the pairings for the doubles that you can stream later on today. If you want to look at them, you're going to maybe announce it.
You understand that. It's not much more
Really?
attractive for the listeners. I feel like it. I'm happy
Okay.
to watch my friend play.
Up to you. Thank you.
Okay. Come. Is it okay if Joe takes over?
I don't like Joe. Oh, Joe Russell. Sure.
Come on.
Did you win your doubles?
You stay there. Let me get
Three
a coffee
straight
first.
doubles.
I didn't like the take when you got Gammon with the 24 hits.
It was right. It was right. Massive take.
take.
I would have passed. Sit down, Joe.
Let
I
me
would
get a
have
coffee.
I would have passed too.
I would have
I
passed.
would have passed.
I would have passed.
But I'm bad at that position.
Well, I wouldn't have bet it was a pass because Joe Russell said take.
I bet him.
You bet him? I went to you. I didn't think it was take. You got Gammon too, didn't you? You rolled double ones though. My
You
goodness.
got Gammon.
He rolled double ones.
No, he didn't roll double once, but he got both checks.
He rolled double ones after the take. That was the next roll. And I'll bet you on that one. He had both checkers, the double ones. He
know
made
you
the
had
mark.
both checkers.
Yeah, he would hit. I promise you, it was double ones. It's their best roll. All right, let me get back to this. Having a little argument with my good buddy Blake, who's my hero in life. Joe Russell's going to sit down. He's my hero in backgammon and life too. But one time, I think it was last year, in one day, Blake won a backgammon tournament. He won the sailing cup at his club, and he won a tennis tournament in one day. I've never known anybody like Blake. It's true. All right, I'm being
He's a
joined by
beast,
Joe
but-
Russell.
Blake is a beast. There's no doubt about
Joe Russell,
that. He's
are you-
my hero.
Are you president or
Two
chair?
of my heroes.
Yeah.
Blake and sit down here with us here, Blake. Join us.
Well, if you look at the PRs, what you missed was it was almost a pure three-roll position, and Rogers took. We were in absolute shock. It was like a .28 error to take, almost exactly as simple. And I was just introducing him as a mathematical genius, and he's supposed to be. And that was something that nobody would take that cue, but he did. So that's why his PR is so bad. No, he lost. That's why his PR is where it is.
What is-
Otherwise, he's playing great. He's playing about 6 or 7, and Chris is nailing it. He's playing great, like by about 3 PR. You'll see in just a second. Chris would be way ahead, but he left a shot in the bear off and got hit. In a position where he might have won gammons. It's one of those bear off unlucky things. Yeah, 2.4 to 688. Chris is playing like he's on fire. He really is. When I say Chris, Trencher. We have to say Trencher and Rogers here. By the way, I'll give you 10-1 odds that Chris wins this match.
I'll tell you what. Let me think about it, but I'm pretty sure Chris is going to lose it. Matter of fact, I'll give you 20-1. Chris loses.
All right, you have it. Ooh, this is a good double, good take. It was no double, but .008, that's a good double.
Yeah.
.008 is a good double. You might get a pass here. By the way, that's a factor.
You got to get any take out of Chris Rogers. I mean, a pass out of Chris Rogers.
Yeah. But I like the double anyway, even though it was a .008. You roll it out, it might have been right. It dinged his PR by .001 too.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Rory, I'll have a beer. No, it's okay. I'm kidding.
So here, I think he has to come out and make his 2 point.
You come
I'll
out?
come out and make the 2 point.
You come out?
Yep.
How can you make the right play every single time? You're driving me crazy. I want a commentator that makes me look good, and you're doing just the opposite. The right play, of course.
That was a
That was
blunder, right?
pretty bad blunder. Yeah, it's .13 blunder. This is a very, very nice roll for the race. That was the one weakness in Trencher's game was the hip count, and now he's
Still a close race.
taking care of that. Yeah, but there's going to be some wastage before he can get out of there. That's why he should have gone last time. You're right. That was the point. When is he ever going to race?
The thing is, he couldn't attack him. He basically had to make the point. He would attack, but he couldn't attack him without jeopardy.
Yeah. And you're right, because Rogers had a good board on the other side, so it would have been dangerous to hit the remaining checker. That's the time to go.
Yeah, he was supposed to play 6-2 there.
Do you go now? Especially with that blot in the on the ace?
Yes, yes.
And the race is, well, the race isn't that close, but you're only down 9. Down 9 holding the cube is not as bad as you'd think. It's clearly right to get out of there.
Not clearly right. I mean, it's clearly right to get out of there. No, it's not clearly. It's a small one. It's not as important to get out this time as last time. It is right to get out, but not as important as last time.
Last time was a blunder. Now it's just a small
You're
mistake.
giving your opponent some awkward shakes by saying that.
Uh-huh. You mean like a 6-5?
No, 6-5.
No,
play.
6-5
like
play.
a double 4.
Yeah. This is the right play. This is the right play. Good going. I'm really cheering for both players to play well. And they are, except for that one boo-boo.
So now just clear the 7 point.
Actually, it's close to clear the 8. That surprises me. The reason you clear the 8 is there's fewer shots next time. But
Clearing the 7 was correct.
yeah, but why?
Clearing the 7 because you're making a stronger board, and then you can attack. You might close him out. Now you're just racing, basically.
I see. You can attack now. In fact, you're gonna.
That's an unbelievable save.
Unbelievable roll.
That's not well.
I like that. It's a 6 prime.
Yeah, it's a 6
You don't
prime.
mind getting hit?
No, fine.
Open far point, which is fine.
I think he's looking to see if it was legal.
No, they're waiting for the transcriber to catch up. Look how quickly he did that. My gut would have been to make both points, but this is clearly right because you can go back and get another checker.
All right.
I'm telling you, Trencher is this whole last year. If you read my Facebook page, I've got 5,000 Backgammon friends on Facebook. From the beginning, I was saying, when you're voting for Giants, please think about Chris Trencher and get him on that list. And he made it to the Giants list, and he deserved it. And he's proving it over and over again this year. He's making me look good.
Which isn't easy to do.
And he was bitten by a jellyfish 3 hours ago.
Oh, he was bitten by a jellyfish. That's right. 3 hours ago. That's really interesting. I go swimming in the Med here, too.
Well, he's got jellyfish on his back.
Ah, you're not allowed to use jellyfish while you're playing.
Chris is in the 1 in 1,000 range.
Don't say Chris. It's Trencher or Rogers.
Well, I think they know which Chris I'm. CR and CT.
Yeah, just get in the habit, though, of Trencher and Rogers. You want to know something really funny about Trencher? Do you?
I already know a lot of things.
Oh,
Go ahead
okay.
and tell me.
I want to hear them. That's why I asked.
What?
No, I'm kidding. Not on the air. Okay.
He is a monster backgammon player. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
And
By the
Chris
way,
Rogers is a very fine player as well.
40 years ago, or 35 years ago, I was commuting to New York to play at the Ace Point Club. I played several times a week with Chris Trencher. Karen Davis was in the game. Blake, you were there occasionally. And I was playing there consistently. Trencher was a mediocre player. He was just okay. He was decent. I was much better than him back then. And I don't know what happened. In the same amount of time, he's become much better than me. It has to be the vegetables or something that he's eating. By the way, just to mention this the other day, I stopped commuting to New York when a guy named Peter Jess Thompson and another guy named Falafel showed up at the club and started playing in the Chouette. Next thing I know, I was having weekly meetings in New York. I moved into Dallas. I didn't want to play with... And by the way, the first time Falafel walked in, this is a cute story. He gets in the Chouette. I never heard of him, didn't know who he was. I didn't have cell phones then. I picked up the phone and called my buddy Jake Jacobs. I said, there's this fat slob in the game that's telling everybody what to do, and he seems to like know what he's doing, but he's winning a lot of money. And he said, what's his name? I said, Falafel. He said, get the hell out of New York. That's what he told me.
That's
Jake will verify that story. In fact, Jake will tell you what time of day it was that we had the conversation. It's 30 years ago, at least 30, 35 years ago. All right, we have a little break here. I want to know why you're sitting here, Joe. This is a world champion, finalist twice. What the hell are you doing commentary and not playing?
Well, I think this is my 11th time in Monaco, and I think 6 times I made the final 16. But this is not one of them.
We were talking about the other day, who's had the most success that we know in Monte Carlo. You have to say Jorgen Grandstedt, of course. You have to say Mochi and Akiko, and then Joe Russell. And I'm not sure your records. You didn't win twice, but if you made the money 6 times, I don't know too many people who can say that. I mean, it's just amazing. This is probably, you haven't won a game here, have you?
No, I haven't.
You haven't won a match anyway.
As a matter of fact, my match record it currently stands at 0-5.
0-5, and this is a world champion.
Blake and I entered the doubles 3 times. We scored a point once.
Yeah, but Blake was your partner. You got an excuse. You took all his plays, didn't you? You took a cube that was ridiculous. I got a picture of the cube. I wish I could hold it up and show everybody. It was a horrible take. The guy rolls double ones again. He did roll double ones. Blake didn't remember I was going to bet him. He rolls double ones, which is the super joker, and just kills you. And it was stupid to take that cube, and I'm wrong. It was right to take it.
Yeah, it was 150 take.
Oh, my God. He had 24 ways to hit you. He had 2 checkers back. If he doesn't hit you, you got to recube. I know this position cold with 1 checker on the 18, but I never saw it with 2.
The problem was we win a third of the games. They hit us 24 times. We can redouble when they miss. And
that's 12 wins.
We were up 40 pips.
Yeah.
And we win once in a while after getting hit. We lose once. They could roll double 5s, and that's not a lock race for us. But if they roll something that they roll like a 3-2 and misses, we can cube and they have to pass. In addition, every once in a while they hit us and we hit back. They only have a 4-point board. We hit back from the bar or something like that.
I know it's a reference position if you have 1 checker on the on the 18. But with the 2, I thought because of gammons that would swing it the other way.
They're only like 12% gammon.
That's where I had was wrong. I thought the gammons could be a lot higher.
First of all, realize that they only hit us 2/3 of the time. If they hit us 2/3 of the time and they gammon us
40% if they hit both checkers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So look where you're at right there. If they hit us 2/3 of the time.
All right. Well, that's the difference between you and me. You're using math and logic. So you're going to ruin my argument with facts and math and logic. I can't argue with you. I would have gotten that one wrong for sure.
If anybody interested in what we're talking about, basically it was a match I was playing with Blake, and we were trailing 5 away, 4 away in a match, and our opponents had 24 numbers to hit us. We had 2 blots on the. We had a blot on the 18 and a blot on the 13. But they had a 4-point.
And up 40 pips in the race.
We're up 40 pips in the race.
Yeah.
44 pips, I believe it was.
It's a real good reference position for me now. If I ever get in that position again, I'll probably forget it. Okay, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Leading
CT and CR. Standard play.
Somebody asked me what Pineapple Bluff Gammon is. I should have talked about that during the break, and I will. Next time we have a break, I'll be happy to describe the game. I invented it, and it's Akiko and my favorite game. We play it all the time, and several other people's favorite game, too.
I like it very well.
Yeah, Joe Russell is a master at it. I don't play him very much because I can't win. Not that I can win much against Akiko either. I was up 26 points on Akiko, and 15 minutes later, we broke even. A lot of volatility in that game. Yeah. Yeah, I was happy to break even. I needed the money.
Some of the odds that were posted this week on the book were pretty strange. He had Chris Rogers at 300 to 1. And Chris Rogers
is a good bet.
Very fine player. And
That's a
Chris
big bet.
texted me, said, you may want to get a bet on me. And I was going to, except I didn't see the text until after I started my match. The first round had started.
Uh-huh. At 300 to 1, I'd have grabbed Chris Rogers. No question about it. Everybody knows how strong he is.
He put 200 pounds on himself, so he's going to get 60,000 pounds extra if he wins.
Well, he should have made a deal with Trencher before the match. I guess that's not a funny joke. You don't talk about stuff like that. And I ignore that. Wipe that out. Double hit. No cube here. I would have thought about the cube a little bit here. He rolled so quickly, I guess I'm off. This looked like a very volatile position with lots of market losers. I would have thought about the cube. He doesn't hit here. He dances. Am I too good? My first thought is I'm passing. My second thought is, am I too good? It's a double and a take. I'm thinking too good and it's a take. You take this cube?
It's really close. I'm not sure. On a rollout, this may turn into a tiny pass on a rollout, but it's really close. I wouldn't be surprised to see Chris take here. Chris tends to lean towards taking rather than passing, but he's passing this one.
I'm shocked that it's a take.
It may not be a take. These type positions on rollouts could often move. Somebody out there, commentary group, could do a mini rollout. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets very close to a pass. We have Ian here.
I haven't seen him yet. Ian, wake up. Text him.
Come a little bit closer to the mic.
Okay. Gaz Owens here, right?
Haven't seen him yet. Yeah, Gaz is here.
Gaz, can you roll that last position out a little bit and see if it was a take? I wouldn't be surprised if it's right on the border.
I'll get it right back. Don't worry.
So this three-roll position that you said Chris Rogers took earlier was just a pure three-roll position?
Not pure. There was he had 5 checkers, so he had 3 roll, unless he rolled doubles for sure. Is what Rogers had. Trencher had a possible 2-roll position, but almost sure to miss once.
Oh, well, that sounds worse than a three-roll position.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, obviously, if it was, because a three-roll position is only a pass by 0.05 or
A
something.
pure 3-roll position is 21%.
Yeah, which is a
Yeah.
pass by 0.05 or something.
Yeah, this was just shocking to me. It was just a
Chris Rogers is a very fine player. I could have just been brain fart.
that was the term I was afraid to use, but right. I guarantee you, I said it. He's going to have nightmares about that take if he loses this match, because it was a recube, by the way. It was a 4. He ends up taking and losing 4 points. He went down 4-0. Which makes it even worse. See how ugly this position is, but it's the right thing to do. In backgammon, there's no great play. It's only better or worse
Well,
than the alternatives.
The 3 is forced.
Yeah. It's only better or worse than the alternatives. Stacking like this is terrible.
The 3 is pseudo forced,
Yeah.
that is.
You don't want to stack, but even great players like Rogers ends up stacking when you have to. And here's a great way to unstack, right?
You're just gonna
See? It's going to be a worse stack, the worst stack you've ever seen.
play 3 down and 1 to the 8.
Right. Nine checkers on the 8-point. How often do you see that? And this is a great player. He had no choice. This is called the super stack.
Now, Chris is going to be up, what, after the play?
13 pips.
13 pips. I mean, I'm pretty sure Chris has a pretty easy take if he were to double.
Oh, I don't think it's a double.
Yeah.
It's so brittle, such an ugly position. There's no gammons. Even though you're down in the
I
match.
agree with you. I think it's no double. It probably needs to make one more point, but it could easily go from a double to a pass in one shake.
Yeah, if he makes the 5-point or 4-point. Oh, here we go. Now he's going to stack a different point. Stack the 2-point. What else are you going to do? Why do you move so slowly? The clock's running. You got to read my new book, How to Play Forced Moves. The book nobody's written yet. You know that. Still no double.
Now he's up 28.
Yeah, but I don't see a double. No double. Yeah, but a big no double. It's just way too many shot leave. Oh, it's a great roll. Now he's going to have some cube action, I think. Yeah, you're up so much in the race. Now I think it's a double, even with the 2 gaps. Plus the score. Come on, show us the cube action. I would double.
You can take?
I don't know. I questioned the take. That's why I'm doubling.
I think it's probably still a take because look at his 5s. He's got 1 5 to play before his 5s get back.
It says no double by .041.
Yeah, look at his 5s.
Wow. Good take by Chris. Chris is just playing brilliant. Absolutely. Even if Trencher, is playing
That's
brilliant.
a fantastic shot by Rogers.
Yeah. Diversifying his checkers is exactly what he needed, or making the 4-point. But Trencher is on fire, and his skill is just so impressive.
This would still be like a borderline take.
That's why it wasn't a double. He couldn't
Right.
lose his market. Well, if he'd have made the 4-point, he'd have lost his market, but there weren't that many rolls that did that.
This is awkward. This is the problem when he hit with these when he had the stack on the 8-point
Yeah.
and only 1 spare on the 6-point.
Yeah.
That roll increased Trencher's winning chances from 24 to 32%. And that was a good roll.
Now
for Chris.
Trencher's
That's
got to worry about cracking here, or very soon or coming out. Wow. You talk about brittle. Now
The
Trencher's either gonna
change
crack.
didn't really change the winning chances much.
You keep
He
your-
has to
you
go. He has to. Oh, he can't go.
Can't go. You got to
Can't
crack your
go,
board.
right.
You save a 6 or not? Why not? I would save a 6. I'm not worried. I'm not. There's no race big here. I would save a 6. And I'm wrong. Why am I? Oh, .004. Maybe I'm not wrong. It's so close it doesn't matter.
You're going to want to go anyway.
Ah, that's the reason. Okay. .004. I can take that. It's automatic.
So
It's forced. The only way you can play a 5 is to play the 2. The rules of backgammon are if you can make the play, you must. And if you can only make one of the moves, you must make the higher move. A lot of people don't know that rule.
So here I would not go. I would stay.
Some people would split with the ace. It's a lot of pick and passes and pointing numbers, though.
I don't think splitting with the ace is correct.
And by the way, it's close whether you go or not. .008.
Right. That's why I said you're going to want to go anyway. But on a 5-1, if you would wanted to go on a bigger number. But
Like 4 or 5 or something like that. You would definitely go with a 4 or 5. You don't want to crack your board that much.
good play, Chris.
All of his plays are great. Trencher is just on fire. It's almost like watching the XG play.
Look at this.
The 2 is pretty. It's automatic. You leave him a 3 shot.
Yep.
You have to. You have to play into the 6-point and play the 3 down. All forced. Trencher's got 11 threes plus a 1-2. 13 numbers, and he got it. He got it.
1.
This is sort of justice for the Matt. You didn't see it earlier when Trencher had almost a gammon and bearing off and got hit and lost. The right play again.
All right, where are we at on the cube? Chris is -2 and the long match, and he has a redouble here.
Wow. and a pass right away. Redouble pass. Big pass, big redouble. Look how long it took Trencher to double. He is so sharp. Man.
Well, what you didn't realize, you said, hey, he improved over those years than when you weren't going to New York.
Yeah.
You do realize he was playing with Blake regularly during those years.
Oh, yeah. That's what he was doing for a living. Okay, very good cube action by both. Very good game. Very well played game by both.
I don't know. Chris gives you a lot of credit for the improvement in his game.
Morton, play your own checkers. Come on. Morton, play your own checkers. Come on.
When you roll double twos on the second roll, you always make the 4 point unless you have a hit. And then you look for the other two. You move the back checkers if your opponent has made a point, like the 5 point or the 4 point. Otherwise, you always make the 11 point. It's just automatic.
This is just 13 to 8. The danger with slotting is you're giving him another good number. He's already got good 6s, 1s, and 3s. You can't give him another.
And why don't you want to play 24-23, Joe?
That's not so bad. It just comes under the attack more.
Yeah, but and also it's harder to get out. Only double fives run to safety instead of 6-5. Speaking of 6-5.
Oh, this is a close game right now. Great shot by Chris Rogers. Just make the 5 point, play 13 to 9.
Yep. Wow, it's close to make 2 points. It was close. 2 down?
Yeah, 2 down.
That
2
was
down
my gut.
and 13 to 6 are close.
Yeah.
That's a fine play too. It's a small error.
You don't want to strip the midpoint as his logic in that play. This makes a point.
He makes his 3 point. This is automatic play.
Yeah. Steve Sachs says it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Can I make a point? Can I hit? Can I make a point? Can I
Great
run?
shot. Make your 5 point.
In the old days, they would make the 7 point here because there's one checker back, and that we now know it's very wrong.
It could be right to make the 7 point, but I think I would make the 5 point.
Well, you're leaving a blot when you make the 5 point.
You want to have. I think one of the keys here. You're leaving 3 numbers to get hit, but if it is right to make the 5 point, it's right because you're making it more dangerous for your opponent to attack you. I think this is correct.
Like to see XG on that. Probably closer. They didn't see it. Oh, Trench is not playing as well as I thought. He's at 1.87. Self-correcting, I call that. And if he did it wrong last time, he got it right this time. Transpose. I call it self-correcting. We have got to have dinner tonight. I'm
yeah,
really
absolutely,
mad.
absolutely. Now he should switch to the ace point to buy himself more time to get off the 6, so he won't be attacked as easily on the 22 point.
Yeah, I miss going to dinner and playing a 1 point match for the check with you.
As long as we don't play that other game, whatever.
Schwazi.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll play the 1 point match because I'm due to win after the last 7 times. All right, what's going on here?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's something. Nothing is something. It's a double.
Oh, it is a double.
It's a double.
I wouldn't have doubled.
That's not nothing.
Well, that is definitely something.
That's something. Especially the score. Look at the score. Good double.
Chris will take within 5 seconds.
Oh, you got it. Oh, God. You know your players. Wow. Chris can come in soon. He's got a great game, but it still was a good double, especially at that score. All right, this is easy. Do you come up or not?
I come up to duplicate the sixes.
Absolutely.
No, I don't come up.
You
No, I
stay
don't
back.
I don't come up.
You duplicate the sixes by staying back.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I don't. I meant I do not come up. I duplicate the sixes.
Yeah.
The question is, does he play 6 to 5 or 11 to 10?
There seems to be
What's the advantage of each?
it would take me a while to know.
Actually, I can tell you one.
6-2.
He duplicated 6-2. Blake got it. That's what Chris has learned from Blake, but he didn't employ it this time. The 6-2 would point or hit. Now he gave him an extra 6-1.
By the way, you might not hear him because he's not at the microphone, but the great Blake Fleetwood is sitting here with us, making some comments from time to time. And I would like him sitting there because I figured he'd say something stupid, but so far everything he said has been smart.
Very important role here for Chris Trencher.
This is big. It's an important role for
too big.
both. Yep. Too big. Blake, weren't you a semifinalist here a couple of years ago? Good for you. That's farther than I ever got.
So Chris Rogers is pondering. Well, he should definitely hit a second checker, but he's pondering whether he should make the board. But makes the board, he gives Chris a chance to roll a 3. Then he has to still get a 6. Here he
made the best play.
Yeah.
I might have gotten that one right. Big two.
Shot.
Big shot. That's huge. Especially you got a 5
Probably
prime.
gets Chris to 40% or so, yes.
Yeah. Having a 5 prime on the other side of the board makes this very big. You must hit, right?
Yep.
Must hit. Do you get another builder in?
I think
Yep.
I think
You do. You get another builder in.
15, 13, and 8-6, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. And another builder. Doesn't cost you anything to play 8 to 6 unless you get hit and then gammoned.
10-6 and 4-2 is almost identical also.
Uh-huh.
This is how I would
Nice play.
it.
Nice play.
Either of the top 2 plays. Even the third play is not that far off.
Okay. Covers. That's an 8. 8 covers. What do you? No,
He's looking at whether he should make 3
No,
points.
no.
He definitely shouldn't do that.
No question about the play.
Wow.
Ooh, I was just going to
What a
say
shot.
he's not home free because he had to get the back checker out. But I didn't think about this.
This is the type of rolls you make when you're on your way to the World Championship. Great shot for Chris. He needed
This is a
Chris
fantastic
Rogers.
shot.
Not only did he get up to the edge, he blocked him in.
Now you got to hit loose with a 3,
He can't.
or a 7,
Here he just plays 2 off the 10 point.
right? And hope he doesn't roll a 6.
Yep.
But he would have hit loose with a 3 or a 7. Can't let him sit at the end of the prime, even though you got a 5 prime on the other side, 5-point board. He got it. He got it. It really, after that double 3, Trencher looked like he was in great shape. And look at this. Look how fast it turned around again.
Slot 2 points here.
This is backgammon, baby. Swing, swing, swing. More swings than a schoolyard. Well, six around and 3 in. You have no other play. You're not going to leave a direct shot. That's the 6, and the 3 comes in. You wouldn't put the 6 to the 2. Just make points and pray. The highs and lows just in this one game and your emotions.
Well,
wow.
Chris Trencher was in pretty good shape, was in unbelievably good shape after the double 3s,
Right.
but he's also happy that he's not getting gammon in this position.
I guess there is that. But at the end of the game, they're going to both be unhappy.
That's true.
Trencher's going to be unhappy he didn't win,
Well,
and
and
Roger's going to be unhappy he didn't win a gammon.
Well, Trencher's not necessarily going to be unhappy he didn't.
Falling out of the room. Can't even
Blake's doing it here. He's doing the XG.
That's a very fine roll. Anything that doesn't leave a shot is a great roll. I would bet on Rogers this game. I think the odds of my getting a bet from Joe Russell aren't real high, though.
It's the right
Now,
price.
Steve Hammond is here. He might give me that bet
I need about.
of who's going to win this game.
I need like 20 to 1.
20 to 1?
Can I have it?
That means the odds are really about 22 to 1. 19 to 1.
No, actually, the odds are like 21 to 1.
21 to 1. Yeah. No.
You'll get 50 to 1? Okay, you want it? Okay, $10 at 50 to 1. You got it? Okay.
Hey, we need not to stop this. Okay. Because it's not getting picked up anymore. No, let's
No, we're not really making bets. No bets here. I was just joking.
okay, let's get back to our commentary here. Well, these are the kinds of rolls that make possibilities. You stay this roll if you can, even breaking your board,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of shots here. 6-1, 6-3, the high doubles,
4-3,
4-3, 5-3, 6-1's a shot, and like you said, Trencher could still win.
He should bear a man off pretty close. It's 2 extra shots. So the 11 times you would have been hit anyway, you have an extra man off. It's really a close play. Yeah, it comes out to be like .01. This was wrong.
And the crowd goes mild. By the way, I've been talking about how well Trencher's playing. Rogers has really been playing well, too. He had a couple, he had one really, you called it a brain fart, really bad take. But you look at an intention like this guy is impressing me. He's a hell of a player. I like both players very much in their skill level here.
Chris Rogers is a brilliant player and cool, calm, and collected.
You play Chouettes with him online, don't you?
I play with him all the time.
You play with him all the time. You know his game.
Fine player. He's one of the strongest
Very
players.
fine player. All right, they're taking a break. So we'll take a little break, and I'll tell you what Pineapple Bluff Gammon is. What the game that I just love to play with. I play with Joe Russell. I play with Kiko. I play with whoever will play it with me. It's a fun game I invented. You use 3 dice, and instead of just rolling the dice, you cover them with a cup, and then you could look at the dice underneath the cup and not let your opponent see it. And then you could double after looking at your roll if you want to. That's the bluff. And then you pick up the cup, and whether you double or not, and you pick whichever 2 dice you want to use of the 3 dice. Now, if you pick doubles, you don't get to play doubles. You get to play it one time. If I pick double 4, you get to play 2 4s. Now, what happens if you roll triples? You have to play them 6 times. So there is that big swing there. So there's a lot of skill in bluffing on the cube. There's a lot of skill in which 2 dice you pick. There's skill in how you play it. And it's just a very fascinating game. I added a new wrinkle after 1 year of playing that game. We now play with 2 cubes. So if I can double, I double. And you can only double with one of the cubes. And Akiko could be holding a cube, and there might be a cube in the center. Or it could be that I'm holding a cube and she's holding a cube. But let's say I like my position, I double, she takes. The next roll, I could double the other cube. And then she's holding 2 cubes. If she wants to recube, she can only double 1 back. So we've got double action on the game. We've got a lot of bluffing. There are times where the only way you can win is if you roll triples because you're in a race and you double, and you could be bluffing or not. Now, almost every time your opponent's going to take, but So that's why you shouldn't bluff that, because your opponent's going to take. So for that reason, maybe you shouldn't take. It's a bluff. So it's a great game. Just try it. It's so much fun. But the big setup is the basic setup of backgammon. They're money games, and it's really. I'm very proud that I came up with Pineapple Bluffgammon. It was very, very complicated. I had help from Warwick Marzinian, who made some improvements to my original idea, so I can't claim I did it all myself at all, but it's been a really popular game. My most popular variation is called Pasco Game, and I named it after Jim Pasco. One player starts in a very, very big back game with lots of blots, and the other player starts in the normal position, and you take turns every game on who plays what. I named it after Jim Pasco in his honor because I think he's one of the most creative players of variations and a great player anyway, but he also loves playing back games and variations, and he's really good at it, and he's proven to be. I had a tournament at his house a few years ago in Vegas. We had many of the top players in the world there. Steve Sachs was there, Joe Russell, Mochi, Beachy, Victor Ashkenazi. I mean, and I was in it as well. I was totally outclassed. And we had a Pasco Gammon tournament. Who's in the finals? Ashkenazi and Mochi. And they split the finals, and they played a challenge match against Petco. Not Petco. Pasco. Petco. I get them mixed up because they're both great players. Oh, by the way, Petco's here. And I think he's still in the second chance bracket. You want to go to the brackets, you got to go to the Monte-Carlo website, the World Championship Backgammon website, and there's links. You can see how everybody's doing in both the fighters bracket, the main bracket, and the intermediate. And again, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. There's going to be doubles at 5:30, but I don't think it's going to be streamed. I'm looking into that. It's kind of hard to stream the doubles the way they're set up. But we will be back at 2200 Monte Carlo time for the next round, for the round of 8, quarterfinal round. So come back for that.
Streaming doubles, the way that we stream doubles is that we do not have commentary.
Okay.
It's possible we may have transcription, but no commentary.
Tara just informed me at 5:30 we are going to be streaming doubles. There will not be commentary on the doubles, and we may have transcription on stream 1, but there will be no commentary. Why? Because I have to go swimming, I have to have dinner, we have to relax, but I think there's other reasons that it's just too complicated for them to set it up with commentary.
We raise the board flags, and the viewers can listen to what the doubles team say out loud.
Okay, the viewers can listen to what the doubles team say, and you better warn them that they're being listened to when you're playing doubles, because I know sometimes I have some comments for my partner that should not be streamed. So you'll have some entertainment, not only watching the doubles, but hearing what the players say to each other and say while they're playing. That's one of the fun things about doubles. By the way, speaking of doubles, I'm all excited about Lynn Ehrlich's tournament in New York, January 4th. It's the largest tournament in the United States, and there's a regular doubles at that tournament. But they're also having my favorite event, which is non-consulting doubles. 2 players take turns playing without discussion. You can decide on the cube together, but it's non-consulting doubles. That's my favorite way to play backgammon. It's really exciting. So that's going to be at Lynn's tournament. There's a lot of other great things at that tournament as well. I will be co-hosting a tournament in Jamaica at the end of September, which I urge everybody to consider going to. It's the most incredible venue and most fun tournament. We've got Michi and Akiko coming, David Wells, Joe Russell, Blake Fleetwood. A lot of real big stars will be there. Okay, we're back to playing. It's 9-6 Trencher. What is that? That's 6 away, 11 away, and you're allowed at this tournament to write that on your score sheet because I love it, and Mark Olson agreed with me. And by the way, it was a request of Wilcox Snelling. He liked to keep score that way, and we agree that's the proper scoring for backgammon. Some people don't like it. Okay. There's lots of things that people don't like. You got to live with them. If I went through every rule of backgammon and made a list of the ones I don't like, it would be a lot, but it's not going to keep me from playing and not going to keep me from abiding by the rules. Okay, cover, can't hit. You want to make your 5-point. There's an argument for making the 4-point and leaving the blot on the 5 because you can make it easier later, but I don't think so. Oh, look at that. I said there's an argument. It turns out to be slightly right. It turns out absolutely to be right. To make the 4 point instead of the 5. I was looking at that play. You have a lot more ways to make the 5 after you make the 4 and you're unstacking the 6. Everybody's gut reaction is I can make the 5 point, I'll make the 5 point. And by the way, it's always right to make the 5 point except when it's wrong. So this was the wrong play. This is obvious. Oh, I got Joe Russell back. I can shut up now and let somebody who knows what they're talking about talk.
It's a great shot by Chris Rogers. Chris Rogers, I think, is captain of the English team. He's one of the finer players in England. I don't know if you gave much of an introduction to who he is.
I did, but I didn't include that. I always think of Seb Wilkinson, who's also come on the scene. Chris Bray. They got so many great players in England. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So many.
10 or 15 years ago, I think the U.S. was, we had a significant advantage against them, but I think it's like a toss-up now almost between the U.S. and England.
Let's not forget Japan and Denmark.
Well, I'm talking about just between those two countries.
Those two, okay.
Those two, we played the McGrill Cup like every other year. It's between the top players of the United States and the top player. It's actually going to happen in October of this year.
Really? I never heard of it. This is new to me. This is before my time. The McGrill Cup?
Yeah, the McGrill Cup. It's between the top players in England and the top players in the U.S. It's held online. It's an online event. It's going to take place in October, and we're going to be having qualifiers for the U.S. team starting on in August.
Wow, that's incredible.
And you and Blake are both welcome to try to qualify for the U.S. team.
I think I could qualify for the commentary.
Well, we'd be delighted to have you do commentary.
I did represent the U.S. in Trier, Germany. I was captain of the team. It was a great honor to do that. And we actually did pretty well. Did better than we were supposed to. We didn't get knocked out in the first round.
So what's the cube action here? Chris Rogers is up. Chris Trencher's up 15 pips. I don't think he can double because of the race.
Double from the bar? Nobody can ever double from the bar, can they?
He's not on the bar.
Oh, you're saying Chris Rogers. Okay. Yeah.
Chris Trencher is up 15 pips, which prevents Chris Rogers from being able to double.
I got you.
It was no double.
All right, that's a great shot. Hitting is good. Do you step up with the 2?
No, I play 13 to 11.
13 to 11?
You're supposed to step up. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
13 to 11 is actually a blunder.
Yeah, you're just leaving too many blots around the board. And stepping up helps you get out, duplicates some numbers. Ooh, this is not bad. This is creative, not too bad. And gutsy. Wow. I go to New York a lot. I play in Trencher's Chouette at his home. We get together a lot. And I've learned from watching this match that I'm playing the wrong guy. I got to look around for some other games in New York while I'm there. Thank God I have some. And for those of you listening from New York, I'm spending about half my time there now. So find me. On Wednesday nights, we always go to, Thursday, is it Thursday night or Wednesday night? Thursday night, we always go to the Cavendish, get a nice group there for Chouettes. Tuesday night at Trencher's.
Good job, Chris. He found the right play.
Right play. Good play.
Duplicates the hits from the roof.
I would step up. It helps like double freeze the checkers on the 8, I guess.
You would step up to what?
24-23. But maybe you go, maybe this is probably right. That looks pretty good.
Bar 24-13-9, it says.
Ooh, look at that. That's a big roll for Trencher. And a nice roll back. Comes in. Hits.
Comes in, hits 13
and then
to
look
9.
around. You come in, you hit, and you look around.
Looks like it's almost a wash between 21 and 11 and 13-9.
Well, 13-9 I like because it gives you a direct cover. This is a hit.
Hit.
Automatic hit, because otherwise you give your opponent his full roll.
Now Chris Trencher's ahead 37 pips. He's got deuces, fours, fives, ones. This is a solid double, that's for sure. And I don't think it's a take.
Solid pass. Big double, big pass.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize it was that big a pass. It's a 123.
That's another
I don't
difference
think-
between you and me. I never look at that number. I look at how big a pass is by 237, and you're looking at 123.
Well, it's a pass by 237 millipoints.
Uh-huh.
I guarantee you, Chris is thinking, is this too good? That's what his thought process is. He's not thinking, is this a double?
Well, there are 44% gammons. It could, it's not unreasonable to think too good with that many gammons.
But he will end up doubling, and he will end up passing.
Quick pass, very good. These guys are good, and again, there's another reason why Trencher's PR. I mean, Chris's Rogers' PR is not looking as good. He had a recube that he didn't recube for 5 rolls and got dinged for it, but there was no harm in waiting because it was he had a closed board and he eventually did the right thing. If he was playing in BMAB, he would have doubled right away.
Yeah, those repeated cube errors often penalize you a lot more than they effectively hurt you.
Yeah,
it's a difference between average cube error and effective cube error. When you make a lot of small errors in a row and then eventually make the cube, it might be dinging you 0.05 5 times in a row, but it really didn't give up that much equity.
And that was exactly the case in that situation. That's why if you look at Rogers' real PR, he's playing much better than that 6 shows. He's got nothing to be embarrassed about in his play in this game. Power point?
Yeah.
Bar point versus bar point. Double fives.
It's a great shot.
Is it?
Of course it is. It's 20 pips in the race and it escapes one of those checkers.
I don't know. I can think of a bunch of rolls I'd rather have, but you say it's a great shot, you must be right.
Oh, there are rolls you'd rather have, of course. Doubles that come in and point.
Anchor?
This isn't the right idea.
No, he's supposed to go to the 5 point. Didn't hurt him. I guess you go to the 8. What else you do? Oh, going to the 8's wrong. 13, 10, 6, 4. Slot. You unstack. You unstack. You play a bit. I'll bet you Chris gets the right play. No. Don't touch that checker. I wouldn't. I'm not sure I would slot the 4 point here. But right. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know, Joe. You've always been my hero. Now there's a contender out there now in the United States. I'm starting to love Trencher's play more and more.
I absolutely love his play. He is a beast. He's one of the most underrated players in the world. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, well, not after this tournament, he won't be.
Well, he's not even that underrated. He just deserves more than he gets.
Yeah, that's right. But this whole year, he's been doing amazing things.
Right.
Ooh, this is really a great roll. Actually, very good roll to me. Well, clear up that blot. Come in and clear up the blot. Not a double. Nothing wrong with thinking about it. Got a lot of pointing numbers here, including that. You do it though. That's a lot of return shots.
No, you point as fast as you can. You don't even think about this. Anything else is
Mainly because there's no alternative that looks like reasonable at all.
Yeah, anything else is triple, quadruple blunder.
Yeah. This is very much the wrong idea. He's going to find it. Oh. The only reason you wouldn't point is if your opponent had a much better board. That was very, very bad play by Mr. Rogers. And here's a good reason why. Think about how double force would have played if he'd been hit. And now he went
wow.
Oh my goodness.
What a shot.
What a shot.
He was on the ropes. Now he's like...
He was being very highly
He's on the ropes, and now he has Chris Trencher on the ropes. That was like his 35-1 best shake, maybe.
Coming in with the 3 is good. Or do you come in and
Come
hit?
on the ace and you hit.
Well, against the prime, you do. Oh,
Come in and
yeah,
the
you're
ace
trying
and
to
hit
counter prime. That's right.
as fast as you can do it.
I wouldn't do it that fast, but it's right. You got it right. It's not huge though. Look how the difference isn't that great. 0.017, and you just jumped at it, and you were right.
Well, I was lucky. I was lucky to be right if it was that close. And this is a double.
Not a huge double, but you'd think you would think more, especially when you're losing 10
when you
to
lose
6.
10-6, you want to consider.
Yeah, I would have. I start thinking about cubing on the second roll when I'm down 10-6.
This is a double pass.
Big double, big pass. There he goes. He's got it.
Crystal pass.
Tara.
Within 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1.
Straighten the board.
You can't.
The board looks
I don't know what
crooked.
he's-
Here's Tara's going to go in. She's going to straighten the camera. They're not going to touch the board. I love when they do that. I don't like it that it's crooked. And she'll fix it with the camera.
I don't know what he's looking at. I have no clue what he could be
Prime
looking
versus
at.
primes are complicated. They're not fun. They're not.
This is
they're
4
hard.
men back versus 1 man back, and 6 is escape immediately. He's not going to take this. No matter how much he tanks, he's not going to take this. I'll give you 3-1 he passes, even he's already taken 2 minutes on.
3-1
Yep,
on $10.
you got it.
Now I hope he does the right thing. I want them both to do the right thing, but I'd like to make $30.
Oh,
Hey! This is the first bet I've won from Joe Russell in Monte Carlo this year. First one. We're going someplace nice for dinner now that I got $30. You know what that'll buy you in Monte Carlo? A hamburger. It's at the tip top. Oh, that's a bad take, but why was I happy he took it? Oh yeah, $30. Wow, that's Chris's first real blunder in this match. First one.
the problem with the position is even the numbers that didn't get out, they made points, they
Yeah.
did things, and you're still got 4 men back, and you're still, how do you prevent this guy from getting out? How do you prevent that guy from getting out?
You're about to see. Trencher's going to come in. He's going to crash. You're not going to see a 6 for the next 17 rolls by Rogers, and he's going to win. Yeah, it's way too gammonish too. If he gets out, the odds of him rolling a 6 sometime in the future are pretty good. They're 30% every roll. You get 6 rolls to do it or 5 rolls to do it. What's 3 times? That's 150%. It's impossible for him not to come out, right? My odds are right.
Here he just has to play 8.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it says 9-6-7-6. Wow. I wouldn't have gotten this one right. I would have played
Well,
9-8.
You know why? Why? You know how you're going to use your 6. 9-8 isn't going to help you. You're not going to use that for a 6.
Yeah, but it doesn't do you any good there either.
Yeah, but your 6s are going to come out.
Understand.
If you rolled a 6-2 now, he wouldn't make the point. He'd come out. Because he's running out of time. Oh, you want to know how Trench is going to win?
Oh, this is a forced play.
Yep. From my book.
Well, it decreases the gammon equity a lot. Trench only gets gammon 35% now.
Uh-huh. Ooh. He's starting to wonder what happened to the 6s on his dice. I would pick up both dice and look and make sure there's a 6 on them. Oh, there are 6s on the dice.
Continue.
With
Continue
both?
to the midpoint.
With both?
Yep.
Why?
With both.
I would be tempted to come in with that one just so I could hit him off the
You don't want to give him 1s and 6s. Look how if you make that point, his 6-4s is a terrible.
Oh, I
shot.
see. The problem is you don't want to get hit on
You don't
his
give him a
6
1 and you
point.
dance, and then he rolls a 6.
I got it. It would be nice to bring in a checker to hit him off the 3, but you're leaving him to that shot. See, that was my play. He made my play, and it's not right.
.071 wrong.
Yeah, it's not right.
And that's the reason.
Well, no, we can't pick and pass though. He has to leave the blot. I'm not sure. He's not even going to hit with the 1 here.
Yes, he is.
He is?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
What's the odds on that?
No, I think this is the wrong play for sure.
Yep.
I was right.
You were
7-4,
you were
7-6.
right. But I was going to bet whether he was going to do it or not. This is an automatic hit, and if he doesn't perform here, I'm wondering about the cube action. Maybe at the score you don't redouble. Oh, we don't have to worry about it. There's that 6 situation again.
That's another.
Oh, big roll. Wow.
Huh.
This is the game of the match so far. At least he came in. That's going to reduce the gammons by a lot.
Yeah, just play 19-15. You don't want to let him have 5s and 1s to gammon you. If he doesn't roll a 1 here, you'll probably get off the gammon.
You're clearly right. You might get another shot here, though. This is still a brittle position, so I wouldn't rule Trencher out of this game. But that 6, he finally got a 6. He deserved it after all those tries. After having to crash.
Having this checker back is, the liability was created when he didn't play bar 13 twice.
Uh-huh.
Double 6.
Yep.
And it came in, even when Chris Rogers rolled a 6-5, that man being there was still haunting him.
Well, he didn't get the 1. That was important.
So Chris Rogers is down to about 34% gammons now.
Six four, 6-1, double 6. 2-1 is awkward.
Now he's down to about 25% gammons.
This is the wrong play. And the reason why is probably the number of shots that you could leave next time, or the flexibility not having a 4 to play. Oh, that's it. 4s. He needed to keep a 4 to play to keep that checker on the 5 point. Because you can see the 4 is the problem.
The real problem would be 5-4, 6.
Yeah. He should have left the checker on the 5 point. For that reason. But now his big doubles don't leave shots. That's probably what he was thinking when he moved from 5 to 4.
How wrong was his play? Because it looks like it's fairly solid play.
I don't remember. It was around 4 or 5%, about 4% as I recall.
That much?
Yeah, it was about 4%. This is a big roll not to leave a shot there. This is the game that, if Trencher loses the match, this is the game that he's going to regret the most. Certainly so far. By taking the cube and a couple of plays.
That's it, Phil.
Right now. Did you win? Oh, I'm fighting.
Martin Holm is fighting. He's on the other stream, by the way. If you want to,
This is it. I told you.
this is it. He's right. Martin Holm said it. This is it. Here's the roll. Here's the roll.
Well,
Don't waste any pips. That's why he's running and not sitting there waiting for a double 1 followed by a 1. That never happens except in a match I saw at Novi with Joe Russell recently against Roberto Litzenberger. Roberto had to roll double 1s and Joe had to roll a 1. It was 100-to-1 odds, and it happened. But Roberto ended up winning the game and the match. Don't you love it when I remind you of your losses, Joe?
well, it's easy to do. There's so many of them. Great shot by Chris.
Yes.
12% gammons
Yeah,
here.
the gammon would have been really painful in this one.
Well, it still could be.
Yeah, it's not likely though. It ain't
It's not
happening.
happening.
Wow, what a game! That was the game of the match. Clearly the game of the match, and I got to give Rogers credit for keeping his composure. He had a lot of bad luck in not getting that 6, and then getting hit, and he looked like he was the underdog, and boom, turn it around. I like the setup. It's almost like Pasco gammon, but they're going to put the checkers in the right spot. Okay, we got a much closer match now. That's exciting. They're doing this for the fans and for us.
What kind of clock is that? I haven't seen one of those before.
That's a special. The clock is actually
An iPhone,
It's an
right?
iPhone in a cradle that you can buy at Backgammon Galaxy.
Okay.
Mark Olson did a little commercial about that before it started. I've used that clock. It's fun. It's a nice setup. But
Yeah, I
you're
like
using
it.
your iPhone. You better have a well-charged iPhone or have a battery and have it plugged in. But it's very nice. You can download the app free.
Nice play by Chris Rogers, clearly correct. Trying to escape that man if you can. Now Chris should split his back man, correct?
7 away, 9 away.
Gonna come in and hit.
Lots of beginners are wondering why do you hit? You're only costing them 5 pips, and if you get hit back, you're losing 20 because it hurts even more if you let them make your 5-point. You have to fight for that point. So it's risk and reward. And you don't always get hit back. The odds are you won't get hit back, but
Bar 18 was looks like a correct play there. They were almost identical. Now he wishes he'd played bar 18.
You can tell them we will stream a double match at 5:30.
I did. I
Did
know.
you? Okay, great. Got the word.
Without commentary. Without commentary is what Tarver told me.
But that's
I announced.
So Chris is going to be down, I believe, 1 pip after the play. So he's trying to make a race of it. He doesn't want Chris Trencher. He doesn't want Chris Rogers to make a more threatening position, which he just did.
That was a great roll.
It's probably
Rogers.
It's going to do the same thing again. Yeah, he's got to come up to the 22.
It's a pass no matter where you play.
Yep.
Double pass no matter what he plays.
Well, you make the best play and hope your opponent doesn't double, and the best play is 22-6-5.
That's not my theory. I try to make him too good so he won't double. And it works often. I've done that many times. Make such a bad play that they can't double.
I would not be surprised either way, whether he doubles or doesn't double, even though it's a big pass.
It's a big double and a big pass. It's a blunder not to double and a blunder to take. And these play. Oh, he just rolled. He just rolled. And especially when you're down in the score, I think it's easier to find doubles.
People underestimate when you have the rack and you have a racing lead, how strong your position is.
The rack is the
4, 5,
6 points. I heard that Roberti termed that recently. Came up with that term. All right, let's see this cube.
He'll pass this. The race went from 7 to 9.
Yep.
Makes it pretty clear. Didn't change much equity-wise.
But you still get dinged for not doubling PR-wise. Okay, he did pass. All right, Bill Rouse handed me a note that's interesting. Morton Holm is losing 13-7 in the other match, and a match to 17. Victor Ashkenazi leads 10-9. Who's he playing? I don't remember who's Victor's playing. Frank Frigo trails 4-2. Steve Sachs trails 5-12. Bad news for his buddy and his partner Joe Russell. And Peter Jess Thompson is tied. Who's that? Diamantis?
Tony Diamante.
Tony Diamantis. Oh, sure. They're tied at 12-12. That's exciting. So these are all the rounds of 16 matches. No, almost all of them. There's your update. If you want to watch Morton Holm on
Well, we've
stream
got
2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 of the 8.
Yeah.
Because we're watching 1.
Yep,
And-
that's right.
Yeah.
All right, this match is getting very, very close.
Very tight.
Trencher was running away with it to begin with, and as often happens, just as the fat lady's about to start singing, she sits down. So what happened between the no double and the time he doubled that made him change? Because he went up more in the race?
He went up from +7 to +9 and had a more threatening position. It
I
didn't really
see.
change that much.
Uh-huh.
It just became clear in his mind.
Okay.
But as I was saying before, when you're up, that would have been a double even up 4 pips. It was a pass at 7 pips. So it would have been a double at 4 pips. When you're up and you have the rack and you have blitzing chances and you're ahead in the race anyway and all those things, those are strong doubles.
That's a lot of good reasons. Thank you. So you're saying when you have everything going for you, you should double?
Well, Chris's best reason to take would be a race, and he's already down 7 pips, and he has to hope that he can escape and keep that a race. And he may not be able to escape and keep it a race.
Gotcha. So when you're behind your opponent and you have no race, it's usually going to be a pass. It's at least a double. Oh, that's a very nice roll for Rogers. That's the roll he wanted.
Chris needs a 2 desperately here. The cube will definitely be flying here and probably pass. I mean, I think it is a pass.
It's a pass no matter how he plays it.
Yeah.
You're right. And you said it before XG came up. There he goes. Didn't take too long. Big pass. Maybe he should have done what Sander did in his first match. Waited a long time to give a huge pass, and he got the guy to take. But he was playing a beginner. I won't say he's a beginner. He was playing a first-timer. Guy who's better than a beginner by far.
Eitan Ilfeld, who's head of the
Mind Sports.
Mind Sport game.
Mind Sports Olympics.
Yeah. They're about to have the 27th Mind Sport Olympiad, I think in London, August 20th to 28th. Anybody that's interested in backgammon is one of the events. They also have cribbage and chess and many, many other events. And Eitan and Art Benjamin became best buddies while Benjamin was in London.
And Eitan takes lessons from Tim Cross. He's put in a tremendous amount of hours in the last 6 months to learn backgammon.
Very enthusiastic.
He's been very impressive.
Eitan's very enthusiastic about backgammon. He loves it. He mentioned a good book to me called The 7 Games. Have you ever read The 7 Games?
Yes, and in The 7 Games, they talk about backgammon, and they did a fantastic job of portraying our game. They did it beautifully. I read the book when it first came out. By the way, I'm interested in several of the other 7 games, too. But let me say one more thing about Eitan. He's going to be, I predict, he will get the award from UK as the leading promoter of this worldwide of the sport, of our game, within a year or two. This guy is really gung-ho about helping make backgammon a much bigger, better game all around. I love this. I love that. We're so lucky to have him.
I 100% concur.
Yeah.
We need people like him in the game.
Yeah.
Very enthusiastic, very intelligent, very energetic. Reminds me of you, by the way.
Well, I already got that award a few years ago. But I was very impressed with him. I interviewed him here for everybody. You can see it on YouTube. This guy's a treasure for backgammon. Nice guy. I had breakfast with him this morning. I enjoyed having just
As I
getting to
mentioned
know him.
earlier, Chris Rogers is also a big promoter of English backgammon, captain of the English team, and helping pick the English players to play in the World Cup.
But he's got that dry English thing about him. This guy does it. This guy is of course I think he was raised in Israel, and he's a very, very
He actually lived
enthusiastic.
in Memphis for 4 years.
Oh, that's what's wrong with him. I knew there was something. Wrong with the guy.
We had that conversation. He was, I think, from the age of 8 to 12 or something like that.
Really?
He was in Memphis.
I've never known
He used to have
anybody.
a southern accent.
I've never known anybody from Memphis that didn't have something wrong with him. Where are you from, Joe? I think the fans can guess. I think our listeners can guess where you're from. Yeah, we did. Mark Olson talked about it's called the Tempest Clock.
It's called the what?
The Tempest
Okay.
Clock.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a lovely thing to play with too. It's really cool. And if you get frustrated, it's nice and heavy. You can throw it at your opponent. You can throw it against the wall. I like it. We have a 7-point match here. 7 away, 7 away. And both players playing very well. You don't get any more under any more pressure than the World Championships. As a matter of fact, at breakfast, Eitan asked me. He asked me, "How do you play under this kind of pressure and not have it bother you?" I said, "You ignore where you're playing and what you're doing. Just focus on making a good play every time you roll the dice."
He asked me the same question. So
He did.
obviously he's asking a lot of people that because he's feeling pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're playing in the World Championship in the Open division
For the first time.
and you've been playing backgammon for 4 months.
Yeah, yeah,
It can be a little bit of pressure.
yeah.
I can remember.
What was your answer, by the way?
My answer was that, I've been playing for so long and I've been played in so many tournaments that, it's just like old hat. You just make your best plays and have fun and,
Well, my answer was focus on the right play every time and do it for 40, 50 years and you'll be fine.
it's hard to argue with making the right play every time.
I learned that from Mary Hickey. She said, when in doubt, make the best play. Another great teacher and player. I miss Mary. She hasn't been playing for a while.
I
Real
think her
character.
husband
too.
had some health issues.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it. Bob? Yeah, nice guy, too. Nice play. Very quickly made the right play. And there's a lot of ways to play that. I have a saying about doubles. When you roll doubles, find a good play and then look for a better one. Okay, this is right.
Well, he needs a counter joker here. And that is
Ooh,
one.
there's a joker.
What a shot.
That's a great shot. That double twos would have been my picks.
I would have gone with double twos.
Yeah.
And then 2-6.
This is not too good. He's got to break his board or leave a shot. This makes it easier for, well, it's not that easy to attack when you look at that board on the other side. This is easy. This is an easy play.
And if he dances, it's over.
If he comes in, it might be over.
That's it. Cube
Yeah.
and pass.
Well, no chance of being too good, huh?
It is too good. You're right.
See, my gut reaction is if I know it's a pass, I stop.
Right.
Is it too good? Ask that question first. And I guarantee over the board you'd have done that too.
I probably would have.
What do you mean probably? You know you would have. Don't berate yourself. You're one of the best players in the world. You would have stopped and thought about too good as soon as you know it's a pass. You're being too nice. And this is too good by a lot. It's kind of reverse how it shows it. It would be it's too good by, is that 8.8 or 6.8?
88.
88.
88 millipoints.
That's a lot. That means it's a blunder to double. But a huge pass. Well, good. He's thinking about it. We had this discussion at breakfast, too. The main reason it's too good is the lack of market gainers. That means the lack of rolls that on the next roll your opponent can take. If he's not taking on the next roll, why not give it a shot?
This is one of his worst rolls.
This is a market gainer possibility. Now your opponent can come in and hit, and now you're sorry you didn't double.
Yeah,
But
I
there
think I
weren't
just
that
play
many.
8 to 5, take away the 2-6 joker. Give him as few hits as possible.
Nice play. This is exactly the right play. He needs a joker. He needs double 1 or 2-1. 1-6 is not a joker. But see,
All right. But now
you still can't take.
Yeah, now you got the double pass. Now
Yeah.
it's clearly not too good.
Yeah, it's not too good, but you didn't lose anything by rolling because he's going to pass now anyway.
Actually, it shows that it's close to too good.
It's close, but that's the point. In a bad sequence, you still can double them out. In a great sequence,
Well,
you
no.
gammon them.
In a bad sequence, he could have come in and hit the man on the
Well, that's a horrible sequence. That's not bad.
Okay.
That's a nightmare sequence. You and I have a different definition of bad. You haven't been married as many times as I have. I always think about what Richard Pryor says about marriage. He says marriage is tough. You have to deal with another person's feelings and emotions and attorneys.
attorneys.
Okay, we got proper cube action there. Double pass. Again, I give them both credit for playing very well. And Rogers' PR looks worse, but really, except for a couple of brain farts, he's playing very, very well. We're watching people who deserve to be in the quarterfinals of Monte Carlo and maybe even in the finals. You may see one of these guys in the finals. I hope one of them makes it. I like them both. Six away, 7 away. We're getting into territory where the cube action does get changed a little bit based on the score. It does change the gammon value a little bit and take points, but not a tremendous amount at this score, but we're getting there. Very fine roll.
Very even game right here.
It's even worse.
That's not so bad. It's 20 pips in the race.
Yep.
He lost about 5% winning chances on that roll.
You say that every time the guy rolls double fives, and I don't know how you add that up so fast. You're really good at math, Joe. 2 point. Only because you have nothing else. That's 10 pips in the race. I'm getting it. I'm learning from you. That's a point. Isn't that a point?
Yep.
Sure. What else?
This is a bad shot. That's to burn a checker to the 3-point.
Yep.
Can't do anything else. Oh, I can do this, huh? Burn a checker to the 3-point.
Getting hit is not a real good thing here.
Yeah. Don't give him 11% to hit you. Actually, it's more than 11%. Double fours also. So you can get hit on 5 numbers.
Oh, you're very wrong. You're forgetting that he can hit with double 5s, double 6.
What are you talking about?
Hit the other side of the board. See, I could have won a bet with you on that one. I'm too nice a guy to do that to you. You already owe me $30.
I forgot that he also points on 4-2.
He always one up me. I love that. You know, I want him to straighten that clock and the board so I can see the clock too better, but I'll wait between games. Tara takes care of everything.
So,
oh, wow.
Chris's
Great
last
roll.
play pays off.
Trencher's last play. Yeah.
Chris Trencher's last play
that
pays
builder
off.
that builder came into play.
So what here?
What here? Do I run like a bunny? I don't know. Those checkers on the 2 and 3 point want to attack the ace, so I don't think I want to give them that ability. Because that's the only thing those checkers are good for.
You either run or you come down with 2.
I don't think you run.
Yeah, this looks like the right idea to me. It is.
Yeah, it is. Running would be very bad.
Right.
You don't want to let them use those spares that are almost out of play and put them in play by running. Wow.
That's a hitter.
That is a real, that's a joker. Moves up both back checkers out and hits. Going to be double pass unless it gets to too good.
It's 24-20 with the last one.
Yep. If he doesn't come in, is it too good? He did come in and hit. Got a hit.
Now what?
Now what? Now you hope you roll a 5 or a 1-4. You think it's a possible double, huh? There's no way this is a double unless you want to play it properly, because it's a 2-7 error not to double here. Because even if you miss,
it's a 291 error.
Yeah,
not double.
291 error not to double. Only a small pass. Why is this? It's such a huge double. You think it'd be more of a pass. That's a funny correlation there, isn't it? I guess it is possible to have a monster double and a bear pass. I don't see that a lot, though. He did not double. He made a very big blunder there, not doubling. And he's going to pay for it. I think he got a cover. He's going to cover.
Absolutely.
8-5.
Will be the biggest blunder of his tournament if he didn't cover.
There's a pretty big blunder last roll not to double.
It's a good, and come in, you kill your 6s.
Yeah.
Too.
But
you have good.
Chris really needs 1s and 3s here. 1s and 3s. That's all he's thinking of. He got it. He got it. And out.
Look at this.
Oh, my God.
Shot.
Oh, what a sequence. Really, talk about being punished for not doubling. Rogers was really punished for not doubling.
Now he's too good.
He could have had a double and a pass, and instead your opponent is too good to double. Could be a very costly mistake unless something happens here. Trencher's smart enough to realize, another great roll. That 3 is big. I come out.
All the way out.
All the way out. You don't want to get stuck. You'd like to hit, but you don't want to get stuck. He's going to find it. Oh, no. He's looking. He's just looking. The problem is you crash too much. You can see that you don't have too many rolls to get that back checker out very quickly. This is very wrong, but he's looking at it. He's just looking at it. He hasn't picked up he hasn't hit the clock. Bill. We got a crooked board and we can't see the clock. Thanks.
So you made the right play.
He did. And barring a 1 here, this could be a monster. It's a monster swing. It's not monster because the cube's on 1, but it's still a pretty big swing with at this point in the match to go from winning 1 to losing 2. That's a 3-point swing at this point in the match is a big swing if that's what happens. Of course, it hasn't happened yet. He hasn't necessarily lost. Oh, this hit is adding the third checker. That puts the nail on the coffin, and that makes it different for the bear-off. For Frencher, he doesn't have to worry that much about because he's going to get the gammon as long as he doesn't leave a shot. So all he has to worry about is bearing off safely, not bearing off checkers quickly. It makes a big difference in his bear-off. There's an argument for clearing the 6-point earlier, too, in these kinds of situations where you've got the gammon anyway. What leaves a shot? Thank you. Anytime we have the board was crooked, she's correcting that now. The clock is a little cut off. Tara will take care of that at the end of the game. Tara is amazing. Go ahead.
These are got to be like super close plays. I'm not sure which is right.
Well, 6-5 leaves a shot now.
Yeah, but 6-5, you can leave a shot on the ace point, right?
Oh, I see. See, I was just thinking it leaves a shot, and you're saying it isn't as bad a shot. This, you got to come off the 6, don't you? A hit? Oh, my goodness. Hit. That wasn't on my list. Look, you're supposed to hit here. Wow.
I guarantee you he's considering hitting.
Wow. You don't want him to anchor is the reason. It's worth the risk of going back. Okay, I would have done that, I have to tell you. A small error. He should have hit. How could he not hit there? I would have missed it. That added a lot of equity for Rogers. Not just gammons, but wins. Sure. Could get a double
People
shot.
underestimate how often you should hit off the ace point to prevent your opponent from making an anchor. I've played many players. They just,
Oh, this is a great roll for Frencher.
Yeah, just keep him going.
But isn't that odd? It's certainly right by a mile. Because the alternatives were odd anyway. Whew, he dodged a bullet there.
Well, you only leave a shot on 3 numbers, and you clear one of the points.
6-5, 6-4, 5-4. What am I missing? 6. That's it. Six numbers leave shots next time.
Double 3s also.
Oh, double 3s. Okay. I thought there had to be. I was just starting to go through the doubles. So 7 numbers leave shots. Hits 30% of the time. 2%. No, not 2%. 7.
About 5.8%.
How much?
5.8.
5.8%. Where you leave a shot and get hit. And you don't always lose.
Hit 30%, that's 2.1. 2.1 times 2.75, about 5.8 or 9, something like that.
You're way off. It's 2.778. I thought you were good at math. When they talk about people who are good at the numbers over the board, I always list Joe Russell as one of my top ones. Jake Jacobs, Joe Russell, Art Benjamin, of course, Neil Kazaros, but not just good, but fast. They get them right away. And there seems to be a correlation there. I'm naming really top players, aren't I?
Oh, really?
He's winning 12-9?
Steve Sack.
Oh,
for any of interested in some of the other matches, we just heard that Steve Sachs has come back from trailing 12-5 to 12-9 in his match.
Which increases your equity, your 10%.
It's less than 10 now.
Oh, is it?
I traded Trencher 2%.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but you got equity on Trencher.
Got 7% of him and 8% of Steve.
You don't have anything on me. What? I'm insulted.
I've got a lot of things on you. How do you think I get you to let me commentate with
Yeah, by the way, normally Carter has 10% of my action before this tournament. I said, because you're sick, Carter, I'm giving you 20% of my action in this tournament for free. Today, he sent me a text that for the last week he's been rejoicing. Then he found out I wasn't playing. This morning I got the text. He was really upset when he found out I wasn't playing.
All right. Well, he
got his
13
gammon.
to 10.
He got his gammon. Well, again, there's a real punishment on the cube action for, unfortunately for Rogers, not doubling when he had a pass. Of course, I'm assuming he would have passed, which is not necessarily true because it wasn't a big pass. It was a 4% pass if Rogers had doubled on time when he should, but the turnaround came the next roll. That was very big. Okay, we have a break here. You fix the clock so we can see the clock. You can see behind me the other matches are clearing up and people are going to be taking their break. I want to go someplace really nice for dinner now that I have your $30, Joe. I haven't had dinner with you this trip yet, and Blake and the guys. I've been with.
Been very, very standoffish.
Well, no, I've had dinner with other people. I have about, if you look around the room, I have about, I counted 28 people in this room that have been my students or are currently my student. And a lot of them I go to dinner with and spend time with because several people I give lessons to online, I have never met them. And this is my chance. There are like 6 people here that I've given lessons to, a couple of them for years, and I never met them before. So but I got them all out of the way now, so I've got time for you. When Jeb Horton interviewed me for the Lifetime Achievement Award, he asked me how many students I've had over the years. And according to my notes, it's close to 400.
That's unbelievable. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You've done so much for Backgammon.
Oh, no, stop.
No, I'm serious. I mean this with all my heart. You're one of my favorite people in Backgammon. You've done so much for Backgammon. You can't get enough accolades. I'm a big proponent of you getting into the Backgammon Hall of Fame. I hope you make it in the next couple of years, and you certainly deserve it. You have your energy and your enthusiasm, and there are just not many people like you. I'm you're one of my heroes. You're a little bit older than me, not much, but I wish at 40 I had the energy you have at your age.
Thank you.
It's unbelievable. Whenever I'm like staying somewhere with Phil and rooming with him or at Blake's house or whatever, Phil's getting up early in the morning, giving lessons, people all over the world. I just don't see where you get this energy. It's unbelievable. It's like
good genes. My mom died at 103 and she was day trading the day before she died.
Well, it's,
good genes,
anyway,
but thank you for your comments. I appreciate it. I really did.
I told you this yesterday, but I told my wife, I said I love her more than anybody, but just be glad that Phil Simbor's not a woman.
Hey, that doesn't mean I can't. We'll talk about that later. Joe, thank you. I love you too. You know that. It's very kind of you. I'm touched. To quote Yogi Berra, I'm filled with humidity. All right. 4 away, 7 away. What's the match equity, Joe?
Let's see.
You had to pull out the phone. I knew you'd know this.
We can look. We can do it within.
Is it like
percent.
It's like 60, about 70%, 65? It's got to be in that range of 65 to 70, isn't it? 4 away, 7 away.
70, 30.
30. It was pretty much my guess. So Trencher is now about a 70% favorite to win this match, which means there's no way he can lose. And if he does lose and he listens to this recording later, he's going to come and kick my ass. He's not going to be happy I said that. If you're superstitious. But I believe superstition brings bad luck. It's a hit. 1-2 back game is the best back game. Everybody asks, what's the best back game? If you can time it, it's the best back game for a couple of reasons.
But it's very, very, very hard to time.
Right, but if you can time it.
If you can, but it's very, very hard to time.
Your opponent could have 11, 12 checkers off. You get the shot, and you can still win because you're going to get the second checker a lot.
This is unbelievable.
And now you should come off the 1-2 back game. You should step up.
Yep.
Because
it's so hard to time the 1-2 back game.
It's hard to time against a good player.
Your opponent, he'll get this right.
The right play. And by the way, if you're in any back game and you can get out of it, it's usually right. You play a back game if you have to.
So this is more of an ace-4 holding game than a back game.
Double holding game, yeah.
That was
by the way, the ace-4...
Great shot by Chris Trencher.
I used to think the ace-4 was a terrible game, but it's not bad. It's like they're having problems with the clock. They forgot to start it.
You know how to do it?
They're having clock. There we go. It's starting now.
They have to. They probably have to hit that message. There's a message there. They have to. There we go.
That's it.
You have 903.
Well, you got good eyes.
903, 936.
How long have you been playing backgammon, Phil?
71 years.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I'm 78. I started when I was a kid, right about 7 years old. I have two older brothers. I started playing gin rummy at 5 years old, and backgammon right about the same time. We were addicted to a game called Casino, a 2-man card game, which I love. It could be a 3-man game as well. But my whole family always played games. My best game is gin rummy. I'm better at gin than I am at backgammon. But there's no real rating on that, so there's really no way to know how good you are.
I think they're questioning if maybe the clock was running when they were on break or something like that, and or maybe they're running down on battery. That's probably what you were talking about.
Yeah,
you have to have a very charged phone, so they're transferring to a battery operated
that's the
manual
one negative.
clock.
Even with a charged phone, you can.
Okay, so we can.
Go ahead.
Let's go back into our story here. So you started playing backgammon at the age of 7, and how long did you play until you gave it up for a while?
Oh, I hardly played at all until I got out of college. I was a life master at bridge. I was in Dallas playing with the Dallas Aces and Oswald Jacoby.
Did you go to college in Dallas?
Yeah, I went to the University of
SMU?
Texas. University of Texas.
In Austin.
Yeah, and then after college, I moved to Dallas, and I got a job, but I was addicted to bridge, and I didn't work real hard. I mostly played bridge. I was going to make that my living, and I played against the best players in the world, but Oswald Jacoby, who was a 2-time world backgammon champion.
Hammond.
Bob Hammond is a friend of mine to this day. All those guys, but Oswald taught me backgammon. And I used to go in the back room and keep score when he played for big money, and I got all excited and loved the game.
For any of you younger people who don't know who Oswald Jacoby was, he was probably the greatest games player
all around
for several decades in the United States, and maybe in history, possibly.
Oh, yeah, he was a top gin player, top backgammon player. I mean, and of course, he's famous bridge player. He was head of the Dallas Aces, which was the team that represented the United States.
So Oswald,
that's how I got into it.
So he taught you backgammon and bridge?
Yes, both. Well, Jim Jacoby, his son, taught me more of the bridge.
I actually played Jim Jacoby in the semifinals of the World Championship when I won it.
Wow. And Jim was no slouch. He was a good player.
We had a very exciting match. I remember there was I think I won a 4-cube gammon that kind of won the match.
He's a big guy, big Texas guy. He and his dad were both big. They remind me of Malcolm Davis. They talked and looked like Malcolm Davis.
Oswald Jacoby wasn't a big guy.
Oswald, yeah, he was pretty big. Wild hair and
but
Jim was bigger. Yeah, physically big. Yeah,
Jim was big.
Jim was huge. Okay, get back to here. That's a good roll. Nice double fours,
shot.
Up and down.
Yep.
Up and down.
Makes him 60%.
But Rogers is a decent game. It's a well-timed game. And either way, I've been finding out the 1-4 game I didn't think was that good. The 1-5 game is a horrible, horrible game. The 1-4 isn't that bad. The one that really stinks is the 1-5 game. The 1-4 double holding game's got plenty of equity.
It's a small
Anytime.
error. He needed the slot there.
Yeah. This is not that easy to bring home. Look at this. You're not supposed to clear the point. You're supposed to volunteer. These are hard to play. Defending back games is some of the hardest checker plays in the
Good
game.
play by Chris.
Very good
Trencher.
play. Very good play. That's why I like Pasco Gammon. Really teaches you how to play these positions.
And he should play 13-11 with the 2. Concentrate his forces on the points he needs to make.
And not be that worried about getting hit. If his opponent rolls a 6-5, getting hit isn't so bad. But what happens here, I like Jim Pasco's description. He could get caught in the switches by going forward while he has a back game. It's kind of hard to do both successfully.
Again, he doesn't have a back game, though. This is a holding game.
Yeah.
It's a good roll. Coming in is good. Safety and another checker. This gives him a lot of playability. Even if he starts getting blitz, he doesn't have to worry about a second checker getting picked up.
But this is an amazingly good roll. Real high equity swing. And he plays it.
That's correct.
That's right. Yep. Get out of dodge. This is not fun. You have to slot something.
No, he doesn't.
No,
he
it
plays
doesn't.
8 to
You're
3.
right. 8 to 3.
What did he roll? Ace
Oh, it's a
4?
5. It's a 4.
I thought it was ace 5.
4. He's got to slot the 4 point.
Yep.
The right play. Why the 4 instead of the 2? Because you'd rather make the 4 than the 2. Put the checkers where they want to be. And you have more builders to make it. And you go to the 4 point, you stripped your bar point, your 6 point. Not a double, but it's not far. But when you're down at the score, a lot of people are going to cube here. Good for you, Mr. Rogers, for not cubing. He's got it right. This is a very good roll, though. This might have been better than a hit. Or it's good.
And this is a very bad roll.
This is the end of the game roll, I think. I think this is an end of the game roll. I don't think.
This might be too good.
Yeah. I think it could be too good.
I think it is too good.
It's closer to too good than it is to a no double. Oh, no, it's not. Look, it's off. It's almost too good. 0.024.
It is too good. Plus, plus.
Oh, plus made you a genius. Okay. But 0.012 is not a mistake.
Again, those type positions often roll out to be like 10, 15, 20 millipoints even stronger.
Okay, the match is getting closer. 6 away, 4 away. Very exciting match.
Like 57, 58%, right? Or maybe 56 or 57%.
I'd say 56.25.
$64.4.
64. Wow, that much? We were both off. Oh, that's right. The 4 away is a magic number because you turn the
Right.
cube and win a gammon, you win the match. You make the gammon value is so super that when you're 4 away. Double hit is not a blunder, but it's not good.
Yeah, it's
Not good.
depending on what you call a blunder, but it was a mid-size error at least.
I call a blunder 0.08, just like everybody else does. You have a different way of calling a blunder?
Well, in our chouette, we call a blunder 0.04.
Really? I don't want to play in your chouette. I've been hearing that word over and over again. And I have played in your chouette. I like your chouette, but that's a new one for me.
Well, one reason we do it, we review the games after we review XG after every game, and we want to make sure we look at all the blunders.
I got you.
And it shows red.
It's
as a blunder.
semantics. It's semantics.
But I do think 08 is too liberal for a blunder. I think at least 06 should be considered a blunder. I think the Japanese might consider 03 a blunder.
I think you're right for checker play, but for cube play, I think you can make it a .08 error, and it's just a small mental error. So I think it should be different for cube and
I don't
checker.
disagree with that.
Do you know why '08 is the blunder in XG?
Why?
Somebody asked me that yesterday. I helped set that. We set it at '08 because that's what Snowy set it at. We have no idea why. Probably Leverman came up with the idea is what I'm thinking. But that was the only reason it's .08.
You know, people have improved so much since Snowy days that 08 that's much too liberal for a blunder now, in my opinion.
Well, what's a blunder for you and what's a blunder for me should be different also. Where's the one? Oh my goodness, you stack them.
Yeah, it looks right.
Why?
Easier to escape if he makes the point. You can't. Him blitzing could help him escape.
And you don't have an exciting one anywhere else. Like 6 to 5 was your only other one. Okay. I might have missed that one too. But
So here's 24 to 13 and duplicate threes. No other play. Fincher's best rolls are 3 and 6-5.
The hitting numbers. And Joe does something that I teach all my students. Think in your head the numbers you need so that when you roll them, you don't miss the shot. Lots of people, beginners, would miss the 6-5. So say it ahead of time. Get in that habit. You won't miss the hits. Or if you needed the number to escape, any big number you need, think of it ahead of time. I know some people think that if you think of it, you're more likely to roll it too. The Silva mind control method, which I also don't believe in.
You know, I saw one of the top players in the world. I won't mention his name, but I've seen one of the top players in the world who shakes his legs like this and really concentrates on the number that he needs when he's shaking every time. And it just surprised me that it seems like such a waste of mental energy.
How about the waste of the clock? I know you're probably not talking about Victor Ashkenazi, but he was short of time the other night. I'm doing the commentary. His clock's running out, and he shakes for 6 to 8 seconds before he rolls. He's only got 12-second delay, and he was short on the clock. And he does it. He did the whole match. And he was playing, I think, Justin Dole. Justin asked him about it afterwards. He says, well, I just like to think about the position and the situation.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not going to mention the person
I understand. You don't need to.
Because to each his own.
Yep.
But one reason I like playing online, I like playing with a computer or playing online or playing with automatic dice, electronic dice. It's because you don't have to waste your time. How many players how many players do you think are, when they're rolling, they're on the bar, they're trying to roll a 5 or whatever, they're thinking 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. You don't have to waste any of that energy when you have electronic dice.
I agree.
It's just a waste
we
of
got
energy.
a cube action here. Double take, clear double take.
Solid double, small take, medium, reasonable take.
Ed O'Loughlin and I, when we play, as long as the tournament director will let us, we use electronic dice because he can't see that well, and it also calls out the dice. It's great. We use BG Buddy.
There are several other things that it does.
Ooh, big roll. Big roll. We're going to see a tie match.
It could be a tie match now.
Four-way.
What do you have the match equities for four-way?
No, I have no idea what that is. I have to figure it out. I think it's the same as 12-away.
It's a long way from four-way. Chris Trencher still has about 20% here.
To you, that's a long way. What is the hesitation? Oh, it's a 1-3. I thought it was a 1-2. Thinking, why aren't you making the 5 point? I couldn't see that dice. Double fours. Makes some inside points. Makes the 4 point. Brings the checker down.
No, slot's the
Slot.
2 point.
Your slot. You're right.
Yeah. You're buried in the race. Just trying to make the board that will win if you get and hit a shot. That's a
Clears.
very good shot.
Yeah, anything that clears points.
Very
You're
good
trying to get
shot.
in is great.
Took him increased his winning chances by about 5%, 4 or 5%.
About the bar. Okay. I don't see any horror shakes here yet.
Double 3.
Double threes. Oh my God. You see that so fast. Oh, that's a great roll. That's a great roll. And anytime you see an odd number of checkers on the 6 point, you know double 6 and double 5 and double 4 are going to leave shots. So that's 3 numbers. I don't know where the tradition came in where it's bad form to call your opponents bad rolls, but it's okay to call your own good rolls or bad rolls. I don't know where that came from, but that's pretty much standard courtesy in backgammon. Oh, big. Guarantees the win. I still think you're getting off the gammon. Yep, he's off the gammon. Okay. 4-away. Take points 20%, 22%. Gammon value is 1.0 if you turn the cube, because whoever wins the gammon wins the match. So this gets very exciting from here. The 1.0 gammon value means that gammons are worth twice as much as they normally are in normal scores or money. And that means that if you're in a position where your opponent looks like they might get gammon, you're going to double a lot faster than you normally would. And if you're in a position where you're in danger of getting gammon, you're going to drop a lot faster than you normally
Let me
would.
check the computer. I mean, just comment. Sure. Unplug it.
If you have any comments or questions, now's a good time to post them. Joe's looking at the comments on the computer.
I'd like to say hi to Ian Terry and Jonna and Jeff Hall, Lauren, Mop Up. Hi, Matt. Matt Congire's here. Love to hear any comments anyone has to make. Hi, Dee Dee.
Yeah, anything nice you have to say about me or Joe, please post them. Nobody posted anything. What's the matter?
No, a lot of people saying hi.
I'm
Matt
talking
just
about.
woke up.
Yeah, yeah, he's out in California.
Not sure where he was. He was going to be traveling a lot last
No,
night.
he got COVID. That's why he's not here.
Right. Hope you're recovering from your illness, Matt. Hi, Gigi.
And a shout out to Carter. Carter's been watching,
Jonathan.
and he's getting better and going through some treatments.
James Painter.
James Painter from St. Louis.
Cecilia Rogers. Guess who she's rooting for?
I don't know. Let me think.
She's rooting for Chris.
Really? By the way, didn't she win Monte Carlo? She won the women's tournament or something not too long.
I think
a couple of years
I
ago.
think she won some big women's
Yeah.
tournament.
Why isn't she here coaching her husband? She's a fine player.
The first year my wife did not come, I won it. So maybe maybe she heard about that history.
Six, 5. Brings the checker around. Helps the race. I think it's about 11 pips. Do you point on the 2
I'd
point?
make the 2 point
On
as
his
fast
head.
as I could.
Hit and point. Yep. This is we're down to the nitty gritty here. 4 away, 4 away. Yeah. Have a seat.
I have nothing to say.
We're joined here by my old great friend Mike Svabodny. He doesn't have any stories to tell.
Don't say old.
Old?
I'm younger than you.
And me
As
too.
Stupid as you.
Don't try to play stupid with me. That's a game you can't win. Four away. Very exciting match. They're both playing very well. Well played game. Well, the PR is misleading for Rogers because he made just a horrible cube action in the early game.
Well,
This is the round of 16. Morton's playing it right over there.
this is going to be too good here.
Wow.
This is a double. He passed lightning speed because it's too good.
Only too good by .016.
Plus, it'll come
Yeah,
up.
but you can't fault him for the double. And again, because of the gammonish nature at this score, you drop quickly. All right. What a fight from behind for Mr. Rogers. He was pretty much down in this match early and has come all the way back. It's more fun to come from behind than it is to be ahead and get caught up emotionally.
I've noticed the same thing.
Emotionally. I hate that.
You mean it's more fun to win?
Even while you're playing right
I
now.
understand, but it's more fun to win games. When you come from behind, you're
Oh, yeah.
winning. When
Yeah.
you let them catch up, you're losing.
Yeah, winning's more fun than losing.
I agree.
I noticed that too.
A recent phenomenon.
No, but when the score is tied, who's going to be happier? It's the guy who came from behind feels good about the score being tied, and the other guy's not that happy that he's tied after he had a nice lead.
Is this double four?
Yeah.
Wow. Chris Rogers has been on fire.
And that, by the way, that play is a blunder. He's supposed to make the 5 point. Hitting one checker on the 5 point is better than making 2 points and the 2 point. And
now what's going on?
ooh, quick cube, and it's a big pass.
Big pass.
And he did. What do we got
All right,
here?
so now
my
we've got
2 away, 4 away. The most magic score in backgammon, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And how big a favorite is Chris Trencher to win this game?
60%. 60, or is it 65?
It's not. I don't think it's that high.
It's 60-40. But here's a reference.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure it's 60.
I learned this in a boot camp with Mochi. You have an opening 5-3, the guy splits, it's a double. And obviously, if you had a 6-4 or 3-1 and he splits, it's a double. That's how fast you double if there's like this might be a double.
I don't think so. I think this is going to be just shy of a double.
Oh, I don't know. This could easily be a double. It's an easy take. But this might be a double. There's enough gammon risk but big here. I'm doubling.
I would not double. I think it's just shy.
$5?
No, I'm not, because these things, it's so.
He doubled. And it was a
double.
big
Good
double.
call.
Big double. Nice play, Chris Trencher. And nice take. Phil got one right.
Excellent.
Well, I've studied that enough. With Mochi, I studied that exact situation a lot. We did a lot of boot camps together, and we covered that. Yeah?
Peter Jess Thompson.
Oh, my gosh. That's a upset. Peter Jess Thompson lost to
Vidal won his match.
Johan Benel. Boy,
Victor's down 11-15.
Victor's down 11-15. Okay.
Steve Sachs down 10-13. Victor Ashkenazi down 11-15.
And Peter Jess Thompson bit the dust.
What?
The favorites are Johan Bedell.
Bedell? Johan Bedell won his match.
I was he's rooming with Thomas Tenlin, and you get through osmosis during your sleep, you improve. Nice guy, really nice guy, very fine player. He made a 6-5 play. He made that 6-5 play. You interviewed him last night.
Right.
He made that 6-5 play that
We
just
never
blew
did
our mind.
answer that, but it was a very
Creative.
I love the play.
It was creative.
Right or wrong, I loved it.
And I would have found it in a month, maybe. I wouldn't have made it, but I would have found it. Okay. So the gammons have dried up because of the anchor. And the position has improved quite a bit for Mr. Rogers because of that anchor. And he's happy to be on the 3-point when his opponent's on the 1-point. On the other side.
And that's a hit.
He's thinking about the other play isn't horrible. It's a 5% error to make the point. I mean, to play positionally. But, you know, the gammons are just as good for Mr. Rogers as they are for Mr. Trencher.
You know, Chris Rogers was 300-1 to win the tournament before the tournament started.
What was Trencher, do you know?
Trencher was like, I don't know, 50 or something.
50 or 60, yeah. And they're about equal players.
Right. Pretty close.
Pretty close.
They're both fine players,
Yeah.
let's put it that way. But Chris Rogers texted me, hey, you want to get a bet on me? I'm 300-1. And I didn't see the text until I'd started my match. I would have definitely had a nice bet on Chris Rogers at 300-1.
Right.
But he did get, I think he got some nice bet on himself. So, you know, he's going to have more than just the prize money to root for.
I bet on myself once and lost. That was, I think, the last time. Well, I do get in the side pools, though. If you're going to go all the way across the world to play the tournament, you may as well get in the side pool. Side pool is worth $14,000.
I think the year I won it, Bob Glass had 50-1 on me to win. He was
right?
very happy with that.
Oh, my gosh.
And I think he bet, pretty nice bet.
There's another guy I missed, Bob Glass, great guy.
Yeah.
What a sense of humor.
Love Bob Glass.
What a sense of humor.
He and I were like brothers.
Yep, wonderful guy. Five, 3. What do you do? Stack the 8 points. About all I can see.
13-5 is reasonable.
It's a dead cube, which means that there's not going to be a recube because he only needs 2 points to win, and he doesn't get any benefit from winning.
I guess the Brits are saying that loads of Brits have backed Chris, so the book must be really sweating this match.
Yeah. Last
will
year
be
the
in
book got killed when Sander won. Morton Holm is the book.
Chris
by the way.
Rogers will be in the final 16 of the undefeated. I mean, final 8 of the undefeated, or the final 16 of the tournament, since he has to beat the losers bracket player if he were to win.
If he wins this game.
Yeah,
If
so
wins
he
this
would be
match,
4 matches away from being the new world champion.
What would you settle for? Depends on who's left. That's part of it. It seems like
But
most
this
of
is
the
not
stars
over
are getting
yet.
knocked out. Oh yeah.
Chris Trencher's still 40% to win this game. The race is basically even.
Victor's 15-15.
Victor Ashkenazi has come back from 11-15 to 15-15. Steve Sachs is down 16-10. Crawford, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's 13?
And by the way, we're talking about the undefeated bracket. These players are not knocked out if they lose. They got another chance. But it's tough. It's tough after you lose one. So, Mr. Rogers just wants to not leave a shot and bring it home. The only thing that would destroy him is getting gammoned, and if he doesn't leave shots, he's not going to get gammoned, and he might still win or lose. He'd like to win, of course, but he's going to be playing gammon save. That's why this score is called gammon save, gammon go. He doesn't get any benefit from winning a gammon, and he gets killed if he loses a gammon. So he's playing gammon save. Chris could take more chances because it doesn't hurt him if he gets
Someone
gammon.
asked if there's ever been a British world champion. Yeah, Joe Dweck.
And then he came back and lost to Liganud in the finals and hasn't played since. In fact, he hasn't played a tournament since.
I think Joe Dweck was a world champion.
Yes, he was a world champion before, and that's why he was a huge favorite over Liganud. And Lee upset him in the finals.
I'm not sure Joe ever won.
I think he did. Pretty sure he did.
This is an unbelievably fantastic toss for Chris. This gets him to 73% if he plays it properly.
It's not hard to play this one properly. Why do you make the 4-point? Because eventually you got to bring those checkers in, and an open point in your inner board really hurts you when you're trying to bear in. So that's why he really needs to make the 4-point. I can see the difference is not as big as I thought it would be, but it's very important to get that inner board point made. He's looking at it. No, this is not the right idea, but it's not terrible. 4%. Do you leave a checker on the 13?
What's the race?
The
You're
race
down
is
12. I guess you don't. Down 10.
I would have been tempted to leave a checker there, but he has enough spares to play where you're probably going to come down anyway, and getting hit here wouldn't have been helpful.
No.
So he made the right play. Looking pretty good for Mr. Rogers. And really, he's played very well. And the PR is off because of that one blunder and that repeating double where he missed, but which actually, in reality, didn't cost him a thing.
Okay. We got the answer here. Joe Dweck was a European champion, but never the world champion.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay. But I promise you, he did lose
that information.
He did lose the
Chris Bray. Thank you, Chris. Backgammon historian.
Good.
Fine author and
a nice guy. He's a great commentator too. I did commentary with him before.
Also has a weekly column on USBGF online site.
Mm-hmm. I did commentary with him in Cyprus one year. I was very impressed with the way he expresses what's going on. Sharp guy. Out. You don't come out here. You don't come out because, again, you don't care about getting gammoned, so you're not trying to worry about running off the gammon. And you just get more shots and you don't get pointed on or picked and passed. At a normal score, you might come out here to prevent gammons. This play is right. This is the right play, but as long as you don't come out, he's fine. Okay, that's fine too. They're very close, 0.002.
He's not coming out. He's just deciding which of these three.
Right.
Good play, Chris.
6-4 is the horror shake. All fours are not comfortable. Sure, big roll of the match and he cocks it. That's happens so much. This is not good. Well, he plays it though. It all goes to the ace.
He can keep his 5-point.
Yeah, all goes to the ace. It's still not a fun roll.
He's still 23%.
That much? No, why are you cracking? Why would he crack your board? Why? Oh my God, he played that too fast and he made the mistake. Oh. Clear from the rear. This is so simple. Clear from the rear. There's a reason that saying sounds so nice. It's the right play. He's counting the race to make sure he's up enough to where he doesn't want to hold his opponent. But when you take the crossovers of the wastage, you're up enough in the race. Good play. Nothing wrong with taking your time. This is Monte Carlo. This is the World Championships. All right. That's why he cleared the 5-point. He didn't have to play fours. That's a good roll. Any roll that doesn't leave. Well, what else are you looking at?
Chris is down to 11% to win now. Chris Trencher.
Forced run. Well, what running with both it's almost a tie. You 10% either way.
There are no numbers that leave a shot.
Yeah, it's 10% either way to run or not run.
He's thinking about. I think he's looking at, well, what are my racing chances here? What if I stay back? What can he roll that will make him vulnerable to leave the shot the next time?
And the truth is, it doesn't matter. You win the same amount either way, but over the board, you don't know that. And this is the World Championship. You take your time. You think about it. He's running down on the clock with 2 minutes, but that's plenty of time if this is going to be the last game. And it may well be.
Nice
either play was fine.
He did make the better play.
It is the better play. Very good.
Five to 1 is right because his threes are his problem, and he wants to keep threes on the 6 point so they fill in there.
And you're stacked more on the 5 point. That's another reason you're unstacking more. Okay, Trencher's getting his checkers ready for doubles. Is the right idea. I think he played it legally. Well, it's a transcriber. Wants to missed the previous play. You can see him moving the checkers now. They let the transcriber catch up. That's good. It slows it down, increases the tension here at the end of the match. No, 3-1 is not the idea here.
I guess I don't think that's right. I'd play the 1 up and 12 to 9.
Why?
Double fives.
Wow. It's .002 difference. There must be some other reasons for the other play.
Okay. Down to 4.6%.
Oh, he threw away double fours, I think. Would have been a good roll.
Wow. In the 1% zone now?
Yeah.
0.5%.
Joe, you're such a good interviewer. Let me have you, and you're friends with Rogers. Would you stay and do a little interview with
absolutely.
Chris? I would normally do it, but you know the guy, you know better questions to ask, so I'll try and get him over here. So stay tuned after this match. I'm going to see if I can get a little interview in with Chris Rogers, the winner. Very well, good played, good match, good sportsmanship. They both fought hard. The PRs do not tell the whole story. Rogers played much better than a 6. When you look at the overall checker play, and his skills were excellent. Let me see if I can get Rogers over here.
Okay.
Is it possible to send me the XG file as well? Do you have my email?
Very happy for Chris Rogers and very sad for Chris Trencher. But Chris Trencher's still alive in the second chance. He could still be the world champion. Chris Rogers, very fine player from England, captain of the English team. Would like to tell everyone there will be the McGrill Cup taking place in October between the top players in the U.S. and the top players from Britain. And that will be streamed online and commentated upon. Should be really exciting. We had the first iteration 2020 during COVID, and U.S. won a tightly fought match, and should be very exciting. I think the U.S. team is starting. We're starting qualifiers in August to see what players will play on the U.S. team.
She's online watching, so you're going to be
Chris,
talking to your wife.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Joe.
I'd like to congratulate a member of the Loose Ones in making the final eight. Chris is a member of my online shoeette, a regular player, and we call ourselves the Loose Ones of the shoeette.
Yeah.
And I didn't see you taking too many loose ones in this game.
No, no. Well, against Chris, I've got to play tight. I know how good he is. So,
Yeah, so
You got to get close. She talks.
Sure. Okay.
congratulations on a very fine victory against a very strong player.
Yeah.
I guess before I got here, apparently you took some 3-roll position, a 4-cube that was a massive pass that affected your PR a bit, but you played very well the rest of the match.
Okay.
And congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It was you were very cool, calm, and collected, and made some very tough and strong checker plays.
Cheers.
And
Well, I learned from the best, Joe, playing in the shoeette with you.
oh, thank you. I'm sure that's not true, but thank you for the compliment. What would you like to say to Cecilia and all of your followers?
Yeah, just thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all the support. I couldn't do it without you. Looking forward to the next round. And yeah, thanks for supporting me. Greatly appreciated. And hopefully we can go one stage further and see how it goes.
Let me ask you
Good
a
luck
question.
continues.
Let me
Yes.
chime in and ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is this the farthest you've ever gone to Monte Carlo?
Yeah, I got to the same stage a few years back and
Same
lost
stage?
to
You got to
Fabrizio
the 8 or the 16?
16, I think.
So this is the farthest you ever
Yeah,
gone.
now
You're
I'm-
in the 8 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to win. You realize 4 matches and you're the new world champion.
Okay. Well, I've only won 5, so I'm only just over halfway there. So
Yeah, but that's pretty exciting.
yeah. Well,
That's
you've done
very
it before,
exciting.
Joe. I'll be getting some tips from you now.
So you're going to go out tonight, celebrate, get drunk, and have fun?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right.
With my good friend Zizi.
Do you play again at 10 o'clock now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at 10 o'clock, you may be going in tomorrow as one of the final 4 in the undefeated bracket.
Indeed, yes.
That's
it'd
very
be
exciting.
It is
Don't drink
indeed.
too much at dinner.
No, I won't.
You might even want to take a nap and just skip dinner.
Yeah, sure. Okay, good man.
Fantastic. You played very well. I'm very happy for you. I'm rooting for you to win the world championship.
Cheers, Joe. Thanks very
And
much.
me
mate.
too. You
Okay.
deserve it. You've worked hard in your game. You deserve it.
Thanks, Phil.
Joe
Right.
Russell,
Cheers,
thank you
guys.
so much for joining me. It's
you.
always a pleasure. Loved having you. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you at 2200, which we call 10 o'clock. Us normal people call 10 o'clock tonight, and we'll bring you some more great matches. Thank you. Bye-bye. Tell me what time and where for dinner. I'm going to join you.